for a diehard golfer that the Saturday round is. By the time you get to like Wednesday afternoon, you're like, God, I get to golf on Saturday. And so to take that away, that's a brutal way to start your weekend.
It was, but it ended up being a good time.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, he didn't get to be a part of it. But
it's going threesome today. Sorry, guys.
Yeah.
Going to play a little bit quicker.
Yeah, and then the starter got super confused, kind of an older guy.
Didn't know what day it was.
He's like, what time is your tee time? And I'm like, it's like right now. And he goes, you're behind them, and they're 10 minutes behind the group behind them. And,
so pick up the pace.
And then, like, the group behind us comes up late, right? But they're supposed to actually be in front of us.
Ooh.
And at this point, I'm kind of like, if you're behind me at the tee box and it's supposed to be my tee time now.
And we're already running
I
late.
feel like you should
can wait.
Yeah.
Yeah, if you're running late, then
You're
that's on
late.
you. You're going to slot in
Calm
somewhere
down.
else.
Yeah, and I watched him ask those guys what time the tee time was, right? So then he's letting them go ahead of us. Debatable. I'm like, it's a hot take.
Okay, all right.
He then comes walking up maybe 40 seconds after and goes up to the group and goes, what time's your tee time?
Remind me again.
And the guy clearly turns, looks agitated, goes, I just told you, it's 9:27. I just told you this. And he goes, And he just walked back to the cart.
I think somebody's ready for retirement.
By the time retirement, dude. I mean,
somebody's ready.
This is his retirement.
this is
him.
retirement. I think he second retirement is what I would say.
Retired twice. Do it again. Do it again.
And by the time we made the turn, about an hour, 55-minute front nine, not bad. He had been replaced.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah.
That was old Jerry.
Well,
senile. He just kind of
that's the
commandeers a
tough one
cart
on
and
the
drives around,
weekend.
tells
Yeah.
people when to tee off.
Because he's waking up at 4:30 in the morning anyway.
Might
And
as
it's
well
like,
be
who
out
am I
there.
getting on Saturday and Sunday to get out here that early?
Yeah, I just,
And
you
they're
know.
like, oh, okay.
Be active in your retirement,
Sure.
no doubt.
Go
Was
get
his
a
name
gig if you
Enos
can.
or something like that.
I don't know what happened, but like 4 groups got impacted because there was just disorganization. You were allowed to go off late.
The worst thing is, too, like, you don't realize the ripple effect of that if you have a 1 o'clock tee time. But there is a ripple effect of that.
Huge
Like,
ripple
if
effect.
you're already that late early in the morning,
Oh, my
you're
God.
absolutely screwed the rest
There's
of the
a
day.
lot
Because
of
there's no getting
places-
back on track.
No.
Yeah, there's a lot of places that will build in just a blank tee time at a couple of points in the day just to catch up.
Just to fill in a hole if you need to.
They just know. It's like, all right, we're not booking a tee time here. We're not booking a tee time here, and hopefully we got a gap. They hate to do it because, public courses it won't happen. Maybe ritzier places or semi-private places, you'll get that.
It worked out okay. We ended up getting through the round in about 4 hours.
Fortunately, it was a
That's not
gorgeous
bad.
day, so you didn't mind being outside.
That's the thing is the weather was nice. It was effing freezing for about 70% of that.
Yeah,
When
in
the
the
wind
morning.
was blowing on Saturday, it was cold.
Yeah.
Because it was one of those deceiving, you look outside, you're like, we'll be okay. Then you go outside, you're like, ooh, that's got a little bite to it.
Yeah, I was excited to play. I played okay. I did have a lot of regret. I don't like being cold. I kept thinking of our conversation and how your stupid ass was like, oh, don't have hand warmers. I'm like, what a dumb opinion.
What, did you put some in your pocket like a normal human being?
I did, and I wore gloves, though.
Okay, that's fine.
Like
That does
kind
the
of
job.
golf, sporty, warm gloves
There
for
you
your
go.
hands
Yeah.
instead of the standard golf glove.
That
and
gets
bare
the
hand.
job done.
So.
You're all right there.
Other than that, it was delightful. Are we in a war? Is it like official? This is like a
That's
real
pretty
war? Or
official.
are we just striking people?
It's
and
pretty. Seems pretty official.
No, I understand.
We got, you know,
I
we
don't
got,
know.
It's not
I don't know
stopping
if there's
anytime
been
soon.
an official declaration of. I don't
Well, you need
know.
Congress to do that.
Yeah.
We didn't get that.
No,
though,
it
right?
didn't go that route.
Yeah.
It didn't go that route.
So what's the
We're
plan?
more of
here?
like we got a toe in the water of war. It's one of those kind of like
Yeah,
a couple
right.
of toes in there, but it's in. Our foot's in. Our
Okay,
foot's in the
foot's
tub.
in?
A foot's in the tub of war right
Okay.
now.
Do I need to start gathering tires and
No, but gas prices are probably going to explode. So have fun with that. Well, you don't have to worry about that because you
charging.
drive an
Keep
electric
that
car.
electric car.
maybe I'm financing that car now?
Go
That's
plug that
right.
bitch in.
It's
It'll
a
be
good
all right.
investment right now.
That's about all you got to worry about. We're shutting down some pathways of oil traveling around the world and the globe, so I'm sure oil prices
Now,
will respond
A little
accordingly.
conflicted on. Obviously, you should be going through the proper protocols for such war, but. I saw a report that Iranians locally were like rallying and celebrating because obviously they hate that person.
They've been
who's now
protesting quite often over the last 20
Yeah.
years against
Yes.
this guy.
dead. That regime not great.
Not good people over there.
They're
But
not
also,
popular.
didn't our leader run an entire campaign on not going to war?
Yes, that was a thing.
Yeah.
Yes. No World War III. Yeah, you were correct. You were
Are we
correct. there.
in? When did they declare world war?
Well, I think you
How
need
many
multiple.
nations need to be involved?
It's escalating rapidly.
I'm going to think you need to be involved on 2 different continents. If you're on
Ooh.
if you've got to cross an ocean, then it's a world war.
Oh, okay. I see the point.
I don't know that that's official, but that would be,
Yeah, I don't think that's the official definition, but I see the point.
I didn't know if it was a country amount. Like, hey, there's 7 countries
enough
involved.
countries
We're officially
involved.
a world war.
All fighting
No,
simultaneously against each other.
Yeah. Right.
No, I think if certain militias have to cross an ocean, now it's a world war.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
I don't think we're quite at World War stage yet, but you never know where this thing's going to go, so that's
Right.
encouraging.
Yeah.
Store up on your food. Just in case. Let's be prepared here. At least it's going to be 60 degrees today, though. You see the weather today?
Oh, yeah, we got that going
60
for
plus
us.
and sunny today.
Yeah.
Get outside, man.
So great.
Birds are going to be chirping.
God,
Dogs
I
are going
wish-
to be barking. Kids are going to be playing in the parks.
If you would have told high school Sprague you're going to live through multiple recessions, wars in the Middle East twice,
Housing crisis.
Housing
A
crisis.
medical epidemic.
Yeah, pandemic.
Medical
First pandemic in 100 years.
wealth inequality in a level that,
Never seen
only the
before.
rich people knew was coming, and all the poor middle-class people were like, nah, no way this will happen.
Things are going great, Bob. Things are going great.
Good weekend, though, huh?
Hey, baseball's almost here, man. We got that going
Yeah,
for us. You got your spring
baseball's
training gear on.
I
was
don't know
so
what
stoked.
anybody's
I didn't know we had a
complaining
baseball.
about.
We had a baseball memo today.
I met a baseball P1 at a grocery store this week, and he's super jacked for baseball. I'm like, yeah, at this point, I'm jacked too.
Did he
There
tell
you
you to
go.
talk more baseball? Can we get to more baseball on the show?
Didn't ask for
Oh,
it, but
okay.
he's
No.
getting into it. His son is an Astros fan, and he's a Mariner fan.
Oh, that's controversial.
And I said, why? And he goes, he's really into Texas. I'm like, what? He's
Huh?
like,
Why didn't he pick the Rangers?
it's really nice, and he
Yeah.
likes Texas, so he chose a Texas team.
Okay. All right.
I'm like, oh, that's an interesting
We get the first
choice.
taste of madness, I believe, the first of the one bid conference tournaments start today.
Aha. I'm not going to watch.
I'm not going to start
I know.
to
I'm
watch
not
the
gonna
beginning of the small conference. Give me
I'll
the
look at it.
championship games of some of those.
Yeah, tell me
Yeah.
a final score. I probably won't watch the championships either. Tell me a final score. I don't need to see a 15 seed. That's all right.
I'm nervous for our
Go
Portland,
Portland
State
State, though.
Vikings, though.
Yeah, I hope they win. I'm rooting for them to
They're
win
on
the
a little bit of a
conference.
losing streak. They're not playing
Yep.
as well right now.
They won the regular season title, though, didn't they?
They
they-
play
they-
today.
they
Today
clinch
is
a
the last
share.
day of the regular season for all the Big Sky.
So they can tie. I read the
I think
Oregonian report.
if they win, they clinch the 1 seed.
Ooh, I think they need other stuff to happen too. If I'm wrong on that, text police help me out on that
Let me
one. But
go
I
look
think
at
I
the
read that they need
standings.
like Montana State.
They are one loss ahead of Montana State in the standings. So if they only have one more game left, I would imagine they
I
win the
believe
conference.
everybody in the Big Sky plays today.
They've clinched at least a share of the regular season conference title.
Right.
But to get the 1 seed, I think they need to win.
or somebody needs to lose.
Or
They do have a
Eastern
one game-
Washington and Montana State.
Montana
to
State and
lose.
Eastern Washington are 1 game behind them in
Yeah.
the standings.
Yes. So
If
they
there's
got
only one game to go. I think if they win the conference.
Right.
They
They win,
play
they're number
Weber
one.
State tonight at 7.
Fighting Dame Lillard's.
Beat the Dame Lillards tonight. You're going to do it. Win the Big Sky. Although this one doesn't really count. You just get the 1 seed in the tournament. Which, again, pretty stupid because you've played, 18 conference games, and that should be deciding your champion.
Does the general manager of Weber State have to be at the game if
Ooh,
it's
good
down
question.
the road from his house, or does he stay on a road trip?
That's a good question. Is the game in Portland State?
I think so.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
I mean, I think he's in Atlanta. Did he travel? He's with the team right now, right?
I think he's been with the team all year.
Yeah.
Is there a trip that he hasn't been on?
It is kind of funny that the injured guys go on the road trips when they know that they can't play.
It's about you still get to
And
rehab.
team camaraderie, I get it. You're
Team
rehabbing, you're around the
camaraderie,
team,
yeah.
you're putting up
Yeah,
shots. I
unless
get it,
you need to be back at the medical facilities for part of your rehab or training, or I know right after a surgery, sometimes they don't want you to fly.
Well, he's getting pregame stuff too. Like
But
he's
yeah,
getting
he's getting
pregame
shots.
warming up.
Yeah.
So I don't know. We'll see. Hopefully they can clinch it. All right. Delightful little start to the program. Let's get it going. Busy week in sports. There is a segment entirely dedicated to Andy Johnson.
What? All for me?
All for you.
I get one?
And I didn't have to create it. It
All for one?
created itself over the weekend.
One for all? Let's do this.
One for all and all for one. We will start. We have a lot from the NFL Combine to get to. We'll get to Kenyon Sadiq's performance. Dylan Thieneman. Two
Pretty good.
guys really
Did
stood out.
Thieneman turn more heads than Sadiq?
No, but he turned a lot of heads.
Yes, a lot
I
of heads
think.
returning.
A lot of head turning at the NFL Combine. Ended up being a really good weekend of athleticism on display. We'll get to that. We got some NBA stuff we need to get to today. It is a loaded show. Dirt and Sprague. Let's get it going. 105.1, The Fan. NFL Combine over the weekend. We also have NFL Intel. I told you guys about a week ago that the NFL Combine was going to be just as much about team building and behind the scenes like roster ideas as it was going to be evaluating the prospects. I would say we don't have a quarterback-heavy draft, although one quarterback. Some call him my quarterback.
Your guy had a hell of a weekend.
Shine the brightest.
He did.
In the Underwear Olympics.
Is this going to be your Anthony Richardson is the question that we're all wondering.
Yes.
Draft that guy.
Draft that guy.
Look how fast he is, man.
Draft him, sit him for a year and a half. Who's a good veteran that might be out of the NFL in like 2 or 3 years?
I mean, Stafford always comes up in this in L.A. I don't know if it's more than 1 year, but he's nearing the end of his run.
Yeah, I don't know where the Rams are going to go with that. They might try to trade for another guy because they won with Stafford. But I will say, if there is one out there that could be the next Jordan Love, I'd roll the dice on him.
Okay. I think Jared Goff's a little bit of this. I don't know if 2 years is fair to him, but he's inching towards the back end of his career.
Well, we'll get to the NFL Intel because there's a lot of buzz from everybody meeting up in Indy. I will say I don't watch this event live. I go back and rewatch the local highlights, like the guys running the 40 times and whatnot. But what I do love to read is all of the takeaways from it, the prospects and the teams meeting up. It makes me jealous I'm not in Indy.
Yeah, it would be fun to be there just for one time.
Just to see how everybody's moving and shaking, all behind-the-scenes stuff that you don't get to see.
The personnel folks, the general managers, the owners walking around, everybody's in the building.
Yes.
It seems like it'd be fun to be there.
But a lot of good results. This draft might not be sexy from the quarterback department. I will say I think a lot of the test results, the combine numbers, this is an exciting draft because we have an enormous amount of freaks in the NFL draft this year.
Yes, we do. It felt like every time, because I'm with you. Come combine time, I'm not watching any of this. It is funny to get a highlight in the open of the show, like a 40-yard and he's ready to run from there's
they
nobody
treat it like
in the
it's
building.
Golf. I love it.
And then there's no sound because you can't he's running really well. What are you going to say? He's only running for 4 seconds,
right.
so it's not like you got a lot of time to add. And then he finishes and you say,
"Oh,
look at that. That was fast."
Cut, I had to go through about a minute of spaces to cut out.
The hard part of the broadcasting is the filling time when athletes aren't doing something because there's a lot of fill-in time on this. So I don't need to watch guys run. I'll just read the numbers and take your word for it that your stopwatches are working. Although we did have a little controversy over the stopwatches.
They were a tenth of a second off on almost everything.
We did. A little bit slower, a little bit quicker. Which one do we trust? Who's trigger happy with that stopwatch? But it was crazy to see how many people continued to, it felt like break 40-yard dash records. That seemed to be the theme of the weekend starting Thursday, Friday.
Positions.
Not just one, or local guys. It just kept happening over and over and over again. Quarterbacks were doing it. Guys setting records. Tight ends were doing it. So a lot of good 40 times this weekend.
You know, the crazy thing is the broad jumps, the verts, the
What's
40
your broad
times.
jump? How you feel about your broad jump?
I don't feel great about any of it.
I feel like broad jump would be of all the things.
Yeah.
I mean, I couldn't bench 225 probably. Maybe, no, that's not happening. Not going to say that on the air. Broad jump would be a pretty weak one for me.
Oh, I said this when we did our fan combine years ago. I'm not like a test well athlete.
No.
I'm kind of one of those, if I play a sport,
You're
I can
a
play
gamer.
it.
Turn on the tape. You know how good I am. You don't need me running the 40. Watch my tape. You know what I'm doing out
You see
there.
me diving in softball?
You see me grinding out here.
I can play sports. I don't test well in sports, is what I would say.
I think I reached a conclusion this weekend. I was filming. Teddy was jumping around the living room doing, dancing, doing something. And my buddies, there's a video of me playing in a 3-on-3 basketball tournament years ago that circulates on our group chat every now and then of them making fun of me because as I'm taking a jump shot,
You're barely off the ground.
I'm literally not jumping.
I think I saw that photo. I think you're like an inch off the ground.
You're like mini Jokic.
Yeah, just me going up for a shot. And I'm pretty sure my tippy toes might still be on the ground. So it didn't. And I was filming him doing some slow motion jumping. I think he's got a higher vertical than I do now.
Look, all of us talking and hanging out today, we're just being honest. Nobody's a good athlete, right?
No.
By the measurements of these guys. Deion Burks, wide receiver for Oklahoma.
Yes.
He ran a 4.340. What? My brain breaks thinking about trying to do that.
How fast that is.
But I do want to know, do people out there, when they see the NFL Draft Combine, do they feel like, not in this way with Deion Burks and Zachariah Branch, do you feel like you as an athlete would test decently well as a non-professional amateur athlete?
It's a hard no for me, Bob.
Because I
Hard
don't.
no for
But we
me.
got somebody in the building that does.
We do.
Do we?
Well, Joe Fisher, get him on the 40 time. He's going to run a fast one.
He
He'll run
owes
a
me.
4.540 out there.
Is that who you were talking about,
Don't
Joe
worry
Fish?
about the 9 slices of pizza you had last week. He's running a 4.540, all right? Get out of his way. He's ready to go.
5.27. Tavondre Sweat's 5.27. I will never forget I could do that.
I'd love to see see us borrow some cones for the Montessori school and go
Yes,
out in the street
line 'em up.
right here and just mark off 40 yards?
I'll even find like a downhill grade for you, and I don't think you'll run that fast. It is like you mentioned like being blown away by guys running 4.3s, which certainly happens. When you see the numbers, you're like, how is that
Are you
possible?
more impressed by the linemen running
I'm more impressed by the fat
4.9?
guys. The fat guys
Yeah.
running like 4.7s. You're
Yes.
like, wait, that's a 300-pound defensive lineman.
It makes no sense.
Running a foot, like, think about how fast 4.7 was back in the day. That used to be like elite wide receiver speed in like 1982, and now we're talking about
Jerry Rice, who was, according to you, very fast.
I mean, football fast, right? He's not testing fast. What was Jerry Rice's 40 time at the combine?
I think it was like 4.5 or 4.6.
I mean, that's and now
which
there's
is, not bad.
that's
but
fast, but it's yeah.
yeah. Caleb Banks. So this is a good one.
Yeah.
Caleb Banks is 6'6", 327 pounds.
Is this the kid from Florida? Is
yes,
that the D lineman from
who
Florida?
barely played
Yeah.
this year. He had a 32-inch vert and a 5.05 40.
How?
How?
How are you moving that fast?
That is, look, Mike Washington Jr., he was emotional. He cried. He ran a 4.33 40, had a really good year for Arkansas. He was emotional. It's impressive. That's a specimen moving it away I'll never understand. The Caleb Banks test results might actually be the most impressive of all the athletes involved, and we'll get to the local guys.
Sure.
We'll talk about, like, Talon Green, my guy. Like, we can talk about everybody. Caleb Banks running a 5 almost flat 40 at 6'6", 327 and jumping 32 inches.
Off the ground.
That's nuts.
Like, I don't even want to know what my vertical jump is.
Zane Durant, defensive tackle for Penn State, might remember him.
Yes.
He ran a
Very good player.
4.76 40. He's 6'1", 290 pounds. He had a 33.5-inch vert and a 9'4" broad jump.
The broad jump one is crazy because that's just literally you're just standing there flat-footed with 2 feet and you just jump. Like, how far can you jump? It just is insane. Like, being able to jump that far from just like leaning down into a catcher's position and then launching doesn't compute.
Malachi Lawrence, a name that most people probably honestly not very familiar with. Edge rusher out of UCF. 6'4", 253 pounds, a 4.5 40, and he had, okay, doesn't give me the broad jump, but a 4.5 40. An edge rusher. We are now at the evolutionary stage of human specimens, 4.5 40 edge rushers.
Where are we going with this is my $1 million question.
I don't know.
Because we do this with, like,
This is
I asked
crazy.
this question with franchise valuations last week, like teams selling for $7, $8, $9, $10 billion, which we know is only going to go up, which is just weird to think about. Like, are we getting to $25 billion teams 30 years from now? Like, how much money are we talking about? If this continues to go in this direction, how fast are these guys going to get? Is it possible to get faster than this?
Kyle
Or have we
Lewis.
reached the peak?
Kyle Lewis is a 6 foot, 200-pound linebacker. Pretty standard size linebacker. Not the biggest of guys, but a good size. He had a 39.5-inch vert, a 10-foot, 9-inch broad jump, and a 4.57 40. A linebacker.
A linebacker.
And
it's funny because a lot of these guys will be the guys, like Reuben Bain said this last week. He said, like, check the tape. I'm the best defensive player in the draft. And everybody's concerned about this metric or that, or his arm's long enough. Like, there's certain numbers that you're concerned about. And his whole argument is, well, just watch the tape. You know I'm a good football player. And then you got the opposite side of that. Like, I think the Caleb Banks kid from Florida is a prime example of this. Not that he was terrible in his career, but he had basically one decent year in college. It was his junior year.
he got injured.
Did next to nothing, got injured this year. First 2 years was so he's got 1 year basically of like 3/4 of a season on film.
Right.
And that's it. And
Right.
you're just watching the test numbers and saying, well, if he's running that fast and he's this strong, he's got to translate into XYZ in the NFL. So you have two different examples. Guys who maybe it wasn't the right spot. Maybe they're a late bloomer. Maybe they were banged up and now they're going to pop in the NFL. Or are you falling in love with measurements and the guy can't actually play football at a high level?
I want to go through a couple other numbers from some notable players, but I do want to say this as we go to break. There is an element of this in listening and reading some stuff this weekend from the Friday, Saturday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday of festivities. There is an element for me that, like, Caleb Downs is like, I don't want to do anything. And I'm like, well, you're Caleb Downs. I kind of don't blame you.
I got an Ohio State Pro Day coming up in a month, and I'm going to do it then.
And if I can pick you, I'd pick you. But there's the other side of the coin for me that, like, I kind of love that some of the guys that did participate chose to participate.
You want to go compete?
Yeah, there's an element of
so
that for me as I
Sprague, the
get older.
GM, is like, hey,
It matters.
yeah, you
And
willing to push yourself?
there's one prospect I want to talk about in regards to this, couple others as well, some notable names as we run through a little bit of that, and then the intel out of the NFL Combine as everybody's moving and shaking in Indy over the weekend. So we'll get to that. We will get to some basketball stuff. We'll get to the local guys as well and how they tested out. Dirt and Sprague back with more, but first, Swag with the sports update.
Now, from the George McCoy and Warren Allen Sports Desk, a Sports Center update on the Fan Sports Network, 105.1 FM and 1080 AM.
First on the Fan, Blazers looking very road weary over the weekend with a pair of losses, including a 34-point trouncing at the hand of the Atlanta Hawks Sunday evening, 135-101 on Yeka Okongwu. Led 6 Hawks in double figures with 25 points and 10 boards. Portland will move on to Memphis. They'll face the Grizzlies on Wednesday. Kenyon Sadiq put on a show at the NFL Combine. He set a new record in the 40-yard dash for his position with 4.39 seconds. He also finished second among tight ends in the vertical jump, broad jump, and bench press reps. Safety Dylan Thieneman turning heads with a 4.35 40. Many believe he secured a first-round selection for himself. The Oregon Ducks women's basketball team finishing the regular season with a 70-69 loss to Washington. They now go to Indianapolis. They will be the 11th seed in the Big Ten tournament. They open up Wednesday against Purdue. The Oregon State women's loss in overtime to LMU dropped them to 4th in the WCC and allowed the Lions to win the conference over Gonzaga. More sports scores and stories in 30 minutes. Jason Swigard from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk. Hurt, missing work. Insurance companies acting like jerks. Don't call your mom. Call George McCoy at warrenallen.com.
The Fan is live 6:30 a.m.
We will get to the weekend for one Kenyon Sadiq and Dylan Thieneman coming up. We will talk about one of the worst weekends for our local team. Pretty tough.
Pretty tough.
Back-to-back tough.
Not great, Bob. Not great.
Hope those lemon pepper wings were worth that. We'll get to that today. Other NBA dealings, I think Luka Doncic wants to take out his coach.
Can I give your league a round of applause? Is that okay on a Monday? Am I allowed to do that?
Yeah, I got league stuff. I have a segment entirely dedicated to you today.
Dude,
it's about the league.
It was a delightful weekend of NBA basketball.
It was nice. So we'll get to that. Some NFL Combine follow-up. So I told you guys during the break, look, if Caleb Downs is on the board and I need a player of his position or his skill level, I'm drafting him.
You're in the top 10, you need a safety, you're going to take him.
It's no different than a quarterback saying, I don't want to do anything at the Combine. I've played all season. You've seen me throw a football. Check my tape and then talk to me.
Yeah.
I get it. There is another element of this, though, outside of a couple positions or very unique talents where I'm listening or I'm reading and I'm like, yeah, I think I've reached a point where you choosing to participate when you don't need to, I love that. I think that makes me like you a little more. Sonny Styles breaking all kinds of records.
Sure, he was going to be a top 10 pick likely regardless.
Right, now he's probably a top 5 pick.
Yeah.
David Bailey. We already knew going in he was going to be one of the premier edge rushers, if not the edge rusher. And then he tests out, and you're like, yep, your measurements and everything you just did is terrifying. And I'd love to have that on the edge of my football team. So it's not that you dismiss the Caleb Downses of the world who don't want to work out. I don't blame anybody. It's all business for themselves. But I also would say you're evaluating this stuff. I'd imagine a lot of teams truly appreciate the competitive nature and fire that some of these athletes go in and say, yeah, I'm going to show you I'm the best. Like Ruben Bain, hey,
yeah.
I'm the best defensive player in this draft.
Could just say watch the tape, but instead he goes and competes.
Well, and I don't blame him. But David Bailey's like, are you? I'm going to actually test out.
Yeah.
And that's the difference between some of these guys for some of these teams.
You know, it's interesting. It reminds me of a conversation we've had in college basketball this year about, not to use a cliche, but like, do you have that dog in you? Are you somebody that's going to be competitive in every situation? And not take the easy way out. And there's that conversation at the top of the NBA draft this summer with the kid from Kansas. And do you want him, to go number 1 overall and lead your franchise? When you're not somebody, like I get it for the guys who are slam dunk top 15, top 10, like you're a lock to go in the first round. Whatever you do maybe bolsters your stock a little bit, but even with a bad day, you're not going to slip that far. Like, whatever, dude. Like, Caleb Downs not performing is fine. I've watched that guy play football for 3 years. I'm not going to cast him aside. And I know that's not what you're saying. I think, though, what you're hitting on is something that I connect a little bit further on down. And there was a local guy who did this weekend, and I was kind of surprised by it because I don't believe, from my reading and watching and looking at numbers, that Bryce Betcher competed in certain drills. Like, he didn't run the 40 time, and there's a couple other things that he didn't do.
No, he didn't do the measurement stuff. He did on-field drills.
Okay, he did on-field but not measurement stuff. He's going to wait until his pro day. And there's little stuff like that where you're just like, why would you not do everything involved? When you're a 4th or 6th round pick, that's where a lot of mocks have him going, and you never know what's going to happen.
If you're 4th to 6th, you might also just not get drafted, and you might sign as an undrafted
You very
player.
well could. Like, you might slip all the way out. So I would want to do everything in my power to make sure that I'm ensuring my status as a draft-eligible player. So there's a lot of guys that choose to do certain things. I always hate when quarterbacks don't throw. Like, if you're too scared to go throw on air to wide receivers who are going to play in the NFL.
Sure.
Do I really trust you as an NFL quarterback? There is that idea of, I don't know if you're competitive enough for me.
So a couple notes here. One guy not having such a good weekend was wide receiver Denzel Boston.
Yeah, he had a drop. What do they call the gauntlet? He had a drop.
So I read the Miller report, and it basically he opted to only do the vertical jump, which was 35 inches, and the short shuttle. He's 6'4", 212 pounds is what he measured out, and he had a couple drops.
Yeah.
So they said he kind of struggled in some of his stuff, but they also, this is what's interesting, is you have the combine and then you get pro days. So I'm not saying like guys that don't participate in the combine are not worthy of being drafted, because some of these guys choose not to do the combine stuff and instead wait for their own pro day. Like Bryce Betcher might not have wanted to be measured because he might try to be adding on X amount of pounds between the combine and his pro day. And so maybe he wants to look a little heavier or maybe be a little lighter, whatever the case. And so he wants some of the stuff in-house and then also give himself some added time here. But Boston was one of the names I read that he had kind of struggled. The other side of that was take Jeremiah Love. I mean, I don't know how you don't see some of the stuff from this guy. And there's a player that he's comped to, except he's like 13 pounds bigger.
He's heavier.
Jahmyr Gibbs.
Yeah.
He has the exact same speed as Jahmyr Gibbs. He's 6 foot. He's 213 pounds. He's almost 15 pounds heavier than Gibbs, and they ran the same amount of speed. And he's
an absolute freak.
Like, killed it and crushed it in the catch department.
Yep.
So running back position's interesting, too, in the way the league looks at it, because everybody diminishes it, or at least has, and now I think we're kind of trending back towards appreciating it. And you got to wonder and ask yourself, if you're a team that doesn't have like a giant needed offensive line, defensive edge rusher, like
you're in that 10 to 15 range, maybe the first round of the draft.
Yeah, like do you have to be looking at Jeremiah Love? Yeah, if he's there, what team in the top 10 would kick around of saying we're going to get Bijan Robinson 2.0, we're going to get Jahmyr Gibbs? When Gibbs got picked, people canned that pick. They made fun of the Lions, and I noted the Lions were hugging after they made the pick because they were so excited.
They were so excited,
and he's been an absolute stud for them. Yeah. So I kind of wonder with some of these guys, Caleb Downs is going to get picked. At what pick, I don't know. But to me, it's about for the guys who competed, it's about how much did you improve the stock. Jeremiah Love didn't need to do this. We knew he was the best running back in this draft.
Yeah, we got eyes. We watch him play football.
And he still was like, no, I'll do it.
Yeah.
I'll jump, I'll run, I'll show you.
Well,
I'll do it all.
I'll actually stick up, too, because I know I saw some of the stuff on Denzel Boston having a rough weekend. I'm with you 100%. Like, Jeremiah Love's going to be a stud in the NFL. He's going to be great. He's every measurement that you could possibly want. He's an incredibly tough runner to tackle. He's physical. He's fast. Like, to have that 40 time and to be that big, he's unique, and I would love if my team took him. If we're not desperate for a certain position and there's a guy on the board at that spot and I'm drafting, like hell, I don't know if the Rams are desperate for another running back. I don't really know what the Rams need elsewhere on the roster in terms of free agency.
They still have
I know
Kyren
they did.
Williams.
I'm just saying, like, you get him 13th overall if he's there and in that offense with Stafford and him catching balls and running wild, like that's an entertaining fit for me. I don't know what Baltimore's long-term plans are with Derrick Henry. They're right after them in the draft, but I think they need some help defensively.
Yeah, there's a lot of teams I'm looking in just the top 10 ends of the Bengals that need defensive help. But
yes.
Like, if you also tell me the Chiefs are willing to take Jeremiah Love.
Chiefs are a fascinating team because they're 9th overall, but they need some offense. They just cut an offensive lineman today, so there's other way. They need another weapon. I don't know if they're going to go wide receiver or tight end there. But Denzel Boston is one, like, sometimes I do think we overreact too much to a bad drill. Like, I think that can happen a lot out of the combine. It's so tough because it's an impossible science to figure out. You're trying to add in as many different factors and results and analysis that you can to decide, is this guy going to be good at the next level? I see that a guy has a couple of drops in the combine. Mm-hmm. All right, that's not great. What did he do his entire body of work in college? Like, Denzel Boston, to me, has been one of the most underrated wide receivers in college football for the last 2 years. Washington has not been very good in the first 2 years under Fish. They were better this year than year one.
Right.
But it wasn't like he was playing with Penix. I mean, I know he was on that team, but he wasn't a star player in that lineup with Penix and all those other weapons, where he was kind of the only piece that they had. Their quarterback play has been up and down, starting a young kid. So it's like, I've seen him play. I've seen him make incredibly challenging catches. He's great in one-on-one situations. You got a bad gauntlet drill. I'm not dropping you on my draft board. You just didn't run a drill the way that you were probably supposed to. I remember this being a thing with Troy Franklin coming out when he had a really bad gauntlet drill because he was, weaving in and out of the line and wasn't running in a straight line the way that he was supposed to. And he didn't pop and have an awesome year one, but year two, he was near 1,000 yards and almost 6 touchdowns. So he's had a decent start to his NFL career. I've seen you play in college. I think Denzel Boston will be fine. And if I were a GM, I wouldn't drop him on my board at all.
Yeah, they may drop a little bit because of that result, but let's see what he does as his pro day. And I think that's the tough thing is I love watching all of these crazy athletes perform and see kind of the test numbers of it. But also so much of this is just tape. Yes. I watched you play football. You're good at football.
You ran in a line and caught 7 passes in a row. When are you ever going to do that in the NFL?
Right. Yeah, your 40 time. Does 40 actually – it does when the players are good. You see the breakaway speed, but how many good 40 times you never hear about in the NFL.
And
so,
how many guys do we see run faster in games than they do with their 40 time because it's not necessarily a football skill
Yes.
to have the right technique to run a 40.
You're not reaching ultimate conclusions. I do love the guys that are willing to compete and put the numbers out there. It's a lot of fun.
Because there's this risk. Denzel
Yeah.
Boston, now that he was a slam dunk to be a first-round pick, but there's that risk where
The takeaway is he had a bad weekend.
I dropped the ball. Now all of a sudden am I a third-round pick? Like, what are we doing here?
Well, it's a big weekend for NFL teams to get together and talk about their plans for the future. We got some of the intel. We'll get to that coming up next on 105.1 The Fan. Well, not a great weekend for your basketball team, but, they'll be okay. It's clear where the rebuild's going.
Yeah, we're heading in the right direction.
We get to all that coming up top of the hour. We got NFL Combine going through some of the numbers. There's also, it was the weekend of Intel being shared. And one of the biggest stories for me, I'm not even a fan. Sometimes the big stories are the big stories. The Viking quarterback competition is massive to me.
Yep.
It is a clear, if you have a good to great quarterback, you could be the Seahawks. To me, that's what I think.
It's a good roster, good defensive coordinator. You got maybe the best wide receiver in all of football, and you just need that.
And the Vikings, reportedly from Jeremy Fowler and others, might be looking, hey, how can we make this team better? Let's go with Kyler Murray or Geno Smith.
Yeah. I mean, look, you never say never. I don't know if I'm going to do it round 2 with Geno. Geno's already had one redemption arc. I'm not giving him.
Wouldn't it be round 3 or 4 for Geno?
I don't know, man. I don't know how many redemptions you could have in one career. Kyler in that offense, look, I'm still not a believer in Kyler because he's small, and I don't think he's a great thrower of the football from the pocket, and so we'll see how it works long term. But we've learned a million times you can't say never, and so if you're going to go work in that offense, I'll give you a shot. Those were interesting names to come out. It does seem, as time goes on, they're being more and more public about how much they don't like J.J. McCarthy.
It's evident,
and
dude.
don't
it's
like
over.
him. He's not their
Yes.
franchise quarterback,
Yes.
and they are going to do something. Now, what? Who knows? But they are going to do something at quarterback this offseason.
If they bring in even a Davis Mills, a Joe Flacco,
Davis
a Rodgers,
Mills should be the starter in Houston.
a Murray,
Yeah.
a Smith, if they bring any of those guys in,
That's your starting quarterback.
that is your starting quarterback. And I know they won't say that. They'll
No.
say it's a competition. We want to push JJ. We want to encourage JJ
Right.
to unleash his inner competitor. It's clear as day they're going to go that direction, whoever that is.
When you see it day in and day out in the building, you know whether the guy's got it or not. And it doesn't mean you're always right, and maybe 2-3 years later something clicks and here we go. But you see it day in and day out. And if that offensive-minded head coach is telling you we need to go change a quarterback, that tells you all you need to know.
Fowler found out the market for Malik Willis is not going to be what we talked about. It's
Not
gonna
quite
be,
30.
It's going to be more in that 2-year, $40 million deal, which is what Fields ended up getting, which I would say smart.
Way smarter.
Yeah, take the roll of the dice on him, but
Sure.
careful on how much you're going to be spending on Malik Willis.
He's got 6 career touchdown passes, although the interesting part of this is that there are teams who are desperate, right? And so when you get desperate teams who
bid against each other.
you're trying for, hey, maybe Mac Jones in a trade for San Francisco is number 1. Maybe you got a pivot plan, but then you all of a sudden you're on option 4 or 5, and if Malik Willis hasn't signed yet, you could get a team that's a little desperate and overpays.
One interesting name to keep an eye on, it sounds like Atlanta is going to bring somebody in, which is not good news for Michael Penix Jr., who's coming off an ACL injury. And I think I'm at a point now, I was wrong on him. I like him, and not wrong in the sense of he'll never be good.
Sure.
But wrong in the just kind of how everything's kind of unfolded in Atlanta.
It's not been great 2 years in.
I think it's pretty clear that they're not going to stay the Penix route. That's just an opinion. It sounds like Tua might have there's some life to Tua in Atlanta. And I thought about this.
You're going to go get another left-handed quarterback with health concerns?
Well, there's no doubt there's that. But I did think about Tua, when people say Tua from Minnesota, I think Chicago and Green Bay.
Cold weather cities.
Cold as hell.
You're going to have to play there likely at the end of the year in a divisional game.
Atlanta with Tua?
Yeah.
Tampa? Carolina.
And warm.
It's a little cold at the end of the year, but yeah,
Not
relatively
New Orleans
warm.
Dome.
New Orleans Dome, Atlanta Dome.
You're playing in a dome.
Now, you still got to play all those other games, but in your division, you're domed up or you're in warm weather most of the time.
I don't mind Atlanta being open-minded to different alternatives and having some sort of backup plan. And again, it's different because they've seen it day in and day out, and we haven't. There is an idea, though, for me of I would just like to see Penix for a year under a new offense and just see how it goes. I wouldn't be willing to just throw him aside and bench him. Now, if the injury concerns are going to linger in the next season, which I don't think that they would, but if they did, then maybe it changes your plans a little bit. I certainly you want to go get a backup plan. Maybe this doesn't work out. We need an option number 2. Totally fine with it. Let's give him one more shot, dude. Stefanski's a good offensive mind. You got good weapons. If you can just stay healthy, add a piece or two, I'm curious to see if they can turn anything around there.
Yeah, so the quarterback market is going to be pretty active. It's a lot of June 1st cut dates, though, for these guys for salary cap purposes, because I just don't think anybody's going to trade for Kyler Murray.
No.
And keep an eye on Arizona bringing in as their starter maybe next year.
Who we got?
Jimmy Garoppolo.
Jimmy G, baby.
Jimmy G back in the NFC West as a starter.
Well, he's still in there, right?
I know,
Isn't
but
he
as a
Rams
starter.
as a starter?
Yes.
Check another box of an NFC West team.
He's got a revenge game against Shanahan on that schedule.
Go ahead and put in your calendars. 3 years from now, he will be a Seahawk, and when Darnold goes down, he will replace him, so you can check off all the NFC West teams.
Very, very quickly, is there one quarterback team that, like, to you see it working out? Like, you think, oh, that guy with that guy, that works to me.
Of the guys on the board in free agency,
Like, can O'Connell tap into whatever abilities Kyler does have, or is Kyler to you
he wouldn't be the
too
guy.
small and too erratic player to trust?
To me, it's that. I'm not saying that KOC couldn't do it. If I were thinking of Minnesota quarterbacks, though, the first guy that would jump out in my mind, now it's different because Kyler might get cut, to your point. Mac Jones and KOC to me are the fit. Like, that's very similar offense to San Francisco. He's great with guys who can maneuver a little bit in the pocket, who are smart with the football.
Yeah, Kevin Clark was on that one.
Like,
He
that
loves
to me is a fit that. But again, you're gonna have to give up something for him, right?
No doubt.
Tua or a Kyler might be a free agent. You sign it for dirt cheap. You might have to trade a second-round pick for Mac Jones, maybe even more than that. But that to me is the fit that makes the most sense in the offseason.
We have a lot to get to in the second hour. We'll get back into the combine with the local guys, Kenyon Sadiq and Dylan Thieneman, having a weekend for themselves. We kick off the second hour. Not a great weekend for your beloved Blazers. A pretty terrible one indeed, to the point where people were texting me asking, what is the direction here? So we'll get to that coming up next hour, too. Dirt and Sprague, 105.1 The Fan.
Now, from the George McCoy and Warren Allen Sports Desk, a Sports Center update on the Fan Sports Network, 105.1 FM and 1080 AM.
First on the Fan, it was a rough weekend on the road for the Trail Blazers after losing to the Hornets Saturday morning. They got blown out in Atlanta, 135-101 Sunday evening. 6 Hawks in double figures. Onyeka Okongwu led them with 25 points and 10 boards. Portland gets a couple of days to collect their thoughts before they take on the Grizzlies in Memphis on Wednesday. Ducks putting on a show at the NFL Combine. Tight end Kenyon Sadiq set a position record in the 40-yard dash with a 4.39 timing. He also finished second in his position group in the vertical jump, the broad jump, and the bench press. Safety Dylan Thieneman turned some heads with a 4.35 40, and many believe his performance will secure a first-round selection for him. Shane Lowry held a 3-shot lead with 3 holes to play at the Cognizant Classic, but then double bogeyed 16 and 17. That allowed Nico Echeverria to win his 3rd PGA tournament of his career by 2 shots at 17 under par. More sports scores and stories in 30 minutes. Jason Swigard from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk. Hurt, missing work? Insurance companies acting like jerks. Don't call your mom. Call George McCoy at warrenallen.com.
Hockey. Whatever on the ring, whatever you need me to do, it don't matter.
All right, welcome back in hour number 2. Dirt and Sprague here on Portland Sports Leader 105.1 The Fan in the Fan Sports Network. Good morning. Yes, indeed. Not so much screaming going on this weekend.
We had a little bit more of a little bit more of that.
I would do the panic button, actually. That'd be probably the sounder I would hit. But it is great to be in on this Monday morning. Thank you for hanging with us. Hope your commute's going all right, or are you just hanging out and waking up this morning? Want to remind you guys that Fan Madness is back. You can join the Fan Thursday, March 19th and the 20th for 2 exciting days of hoops at Tom's Watch Bar at A Casino. We'll be out there, the Firm, Happy Hour, Prime Time, all be hanging out. Don't miss a minute of the action. Play hooky with the Fan for Fan Madness, brought to you by A, Window Nation, and George McCoy at Warren Allen Attorneys at Law, and video only March 19th and 20th at A Casino and Resort.
Here we go, man. Here we go.
We're only a couple weeks away, man.
God, it's almost here. It's March. What the hell happened? Time's a-flying.
Time is a-flying, Andrew.
Time is going
That's
fast.
my only response. Time is a-flying. We will get to Kenyon Sadiq's weekend. Nice little weekend for himself.
Pretty fast. That's what they tell me.
Dylan Thieneman, what a stud.
How about the exciting whites?
The exciting whites.
Coming to a secondary near you
the
soon.
Caucasian
Collision
unit coming to a city near you. We will talk about them. Something happened over the weekend that was made for Andy Dirt Johnson.
Oh.
Literally happened. I went, wow, the universe just handing this guy everything he wanted
What are we talking
on a
about?
silver platter.
Did somebody sneak you some tickets to Augusta from me? Do I got that coming? I
Not
forgot to
quite
hang
that
my Masters flag up this weekend. That was the only thing I forgot to do. I hang it up at the start of March.
Why the start of March?
Because it's a month. We're a month away, buddy. Second week of April. Here we go. Here we go, man. Here we go.
Here we go, man. Here we go.
You don't have like a bunny rabbit flag? You
No,
can put up?
no, we're not doing that. The duck flag is still up on the house. We go 3 rotations. We go duck flag from August until usually March, so
Okay.
through February.
Wow.
Unless there's a tournament run. If there's a good-looking tournament run, I might keep it up a little bit longer.
Okay.
But that's certainly not happening this year.
How'd you guys do against Northwestern?
I don't know. Did they play this weekend? I can't tell you.
They lost.
Okay, cool. So I keep it up until March.
It's not fun to dunk on you when you don't even care.
Our baseball team's dominant, though. We won whatever stupid
here we
tournament
go.
we were playing.
Two out of
Baseball
three.
dirt.
2 out of 3. Did we win the tournament? The Vegas Classic
I
Vegas,
don't know
Vegas
if there's an
Classic,
actual
Classic
tournament
Vegas.
winner. You won 2 out of 3.
We won the tournament, bitch. Okay, why don't you look it up? Look up champions of the tournament,
Okay.
and then get back to me.
All
Who's
right.
ranked higher right now in baseball? Huh? Just stick out your pipe
Showdown
and
with
smoke
the
it.
Beavs tomorrow.
Do they actually play Oregon State tomorrow?
Yeah.
Is it on TV? Can I watch?
Should be a coin, right? The CW?
Either them or KUMP, one of those.
So
I
you don't
imagine it's on
I
somewhere.
don't think. Do I have KNUMP? I don't know if I have
That's the
that.
Blazer
That's a
channel.
2.2.
No, I don't have that. I guess I have an antenna, but I'm not hooking up an antenna to watch college baseball on a Tuesday.
You guys better not lose.
I mean, if we do, I won't watch it and I won't even tell. But you can tell me on Wednesday's show if that ends up happening.
Okay.
So I go duck flag until March, Masters flag for March and April, and then the Stars and Stripes goes up for the summer, 4th of July, and then we round about. So I got 3 flags in the rotation.
All right. Well, the flag is going up soon. The Masters is right around the corner. Baseball's about to start, but still going on. The NBA season.
It's happening.
And your Trailblazers, Swag's Trailblazers, our beloved Trailblazers, had just an awful weekend.
What are you talking about?
A 10 a.m. disaster against Charlotte, which
They
isn't
got
shocking.
knippled.
Well, Knipple didn't even play that well. He was
No.
4 of 11. He had 10 points.
We were reminded of oh yeah, remember what could have happened if we had the 2nd overall pick in that draft?
Yeah,
that
Brandon
guy
Miller.
who's 6'7", scoring 20 a game, shooting the ball at a decently high clip.
Well, just reality. Charlotte is better than you now.
Yes.
Yes.
Detroit is better than you now.
Yes.
Atlanta is better than you now.
You can argue Utah has better stuff looking ahead than you now.
Hey.
If Washington gets the best player of the top pick, my God, you would have been passed by Detroit, Charlotte, Utah, and Washington. Not a place you want to be. So how did they follow up the 10 a.m. terrible start and game against Charlotte? They went to Atlanta and clearly went to a strip club and decided not to play basketball.
Down by 30 at halftime, essentially.
By the way, Atlanta's been disaster. Atlanta's not good.
We got CJ and
They still
Kaminga.
have a better record, though, than the
That was the Vít Krejci revenge game. We couldn't even win that one? Are you kidding me?
Why are you pointing out good facts there, Swigard? Shut up. Just let me do the segment.
Leave the stats out of the segment. We're talking about feelings right now.
Swag,
Okay?
can you actually? I'm not asking. Can you look this up for me in this segment? The Blazers are now 29-33.
Yes.
So that would be 62 games,
Yeah.
right?
They have 20
So they
games
got
to
20
go.
left.
Can you look up what their record was at this point last year?
Yeah.
Because they ended up with the 16th pick.
They did.
Oh no, they
They
traded out,
back. We
so
had the
they
11th
were
pick and
11.
traded down.
Right, that's
Cedric
right.
Coward was taken 11th overall.
So we're the back end of
and
the
we
lottery last
traded
year.
the pick.
Our record probably wasn't that whole lot different, was
Hang
it?
on. I'll find it here in
What
a
are we?
second.
25 and what?
We're 29-33.
29 and 33.
62 in.
So by the time we got to 29 wins last year, we were 29 and 39.
Okay.
So we're
we're
a little bit
6 games above
At
pace.
33 losses, we were 27 wins. So
Is it impossible for
It's
us
not that different
to
than
lose
what it was a
6
year
more
ago.
games in a row if there's no Denny Avdia?
I mean, there's still some really bad teams left on your schedule.
We said that last week.
Well, sure, I know
You're gonna
that.
lose to Charlotte. You're
Well, I
beating
didn't
Atlanta.
think Charlotte and Atlanta weren't the teams that I was more of thinking. Like Memphis, you get Memphis tonight. They're openly tanking.
So
I don't know if you're going to win or not. You're just asking. Like you get Indiana twice, who is openly tanking. You do have Utah on the schedule. Brooklyn, I think, blows. Isn't Brooklyn pretty bad?
Yes.
Yeah, they're pretty
They're
bad.
atrocious.
I think
You
we were
got
29 and 33. I think
28 and 34.
they were 28 and 34.
Yeah. After and they
I mean, it's-
they
yeah,
beat the
it's-
Sixers on that game.
All of a
They're
sudden, my
so we're only
win-loss
one game
record.
better at this point from last year.
My win-loss record that I felt great about at the start of the year and then backed off of and people made fun of, I might be circling back around on it. I think I said 36 wins at the start of the year.
Well, if Denny's not coming back, and have you seen anything on that?
I have not.
Because he's
no.
almost at the threshold of missing all the All-NBA bonus stuff, and if that doesn't happen,
If that's
he
happening,
probably doesn't care.
You should not play him the rest of the season.
Okay.
The only reason to play him is to get some sort of All-NBA. Like if he's adamant, I will only do this if I want to be an
Totally
All-NBA guy.
Okay, but here's the takeaway. The NBA, much like baseball, there's so many games, it's hard not to react game to game.
Yes, it is.
From the 2-game sample size of the weekend, I don't know about you. I don't know what Denny's timeline is. We know Shaden's out for the year, even though they haven't said it. I have people legitimately ask, what are we trying to do? Because Jeremy Grant and Drew Holiday are playing like 12 minutes more a game than Scoot Henderson.
Yeah, a guy in your third
Chris
year.
Murray is borderline unplayable half the time. What are we doing?
I've been asking that for 5 years.
I had a listener reach
but
out
I
and
get
say
called
that.
a hater whenever I say it.
And I said,
how dare you be critical?
The only thing I know for certain is that Dame's back, so there's something for them to point at. And the build is clearly Denny, and Klingon, and everybody else is just, I think, expendable. I think it is, for me, even though it's just the weekend, I think my takeaway today that I'm probably going to change in a week, I don't think Scoot is long for this team.
I just wonder how much.
Why are
of
we not playing
this
him 30
is
minutes?
I don't know what Tiago's been told about his future. Maybe he knows. Maybe he has no clue. Obviously,
I don't think any of them. How can you know? The GM doesn't
So
know
I-
if he has a
there's-
job.
there's
So how's the
none of
owner know?
that.
I mean,
I don't know.
if you can't confirm the GM's
And I
going to have a
just
job next
wonder
year, you
if
can't confirm the head coach.
Tiago's just trying to.
Yeah, Tiago's trying to win. I
He's
would
trying to
imagine.
win. Yeah, I mean, you're putting the
And that's
lineup
not-
out
He's
there.
not worried
Going
about.
well, but
He's not worried about any.
I'm not
building or
blaming
anything.
him.
No.
The roster's
That's
not
the.
great.
I think the part that connects the 2 points, right? Where I don't know what they're doing, and I haven't known what they're doing for 5 years. We have tried to rebuild without fully rebuilding, and so we've gone through this with vets on the roster, with guys standing in the way of playing time of young players, and I've been banging my head against the wall, screaming this for 4 years. And it's exactly what we've done. And we've limited the minutes for certain players when we need to extend the minutes for certain players when we're not going. This team is not going anywhere.
Well, Scoot's not playing well right now.
That's
totally
fine. I don't
acknowledging
care.
that.
He should play 30 minutes a night. You know who should play 20 minutes a night? Young Hansen. Dude, it's one thing to be a winning team and to say, well, how do we this was the Kuminga problem in Golden State. Where this year was a little bit different because they are not that good this year. But you got this young player who's a top 10 pick, but we're a team that's winning. So how do we blend? We know we're winning, but we also kind of want to bring this guy along. That's not an easy thing to do. You know who this choice shouldn't be hard for? Teams who aren't going anywhere. The whole point, it's one thing if Jeremy Grant and Drew Holiday are playing 30 minutes a night and you're beating Charlotte and Atlanta and you're saying, well, see, that's why you're playing the vets, Brandon, because you're winning the games. That's why you got to play those guys. I don't know if Scoot getting 35 minutes and Young getting 20 is going to lead you to a win. Guess what? You got dominated by Charlotte. The game was never that competitive.
No.
And you were down by, 20 and a half? I mean, you got killed in Atlanta. You lost by 30. Yeah. The second half of the season has been a disaster for them.
It has, yeah.
Largely due to injury because Denny goes down, and then Shaden's out for the year. You lost by 50 in your first game. You beat Phoenix, who was playing nobody. You
on
were
a back-to-back, by the way, after a double overtime game.
Slightly competitive against Minnesota. Yay, moral victory, but you still lost. You then beat Chicago, who was openly trying to lose games, and even that was uncomfortable until the final 2 minutes of the game, and you pulled away. And then you laid an egg in Charlotte, and you laid an egg in Atlanta. And so if this is the way the vets are going to lead this team, why is Young Hansen not playing 25 minutes? I don't care if he's a minus 87. It doesn't matter. You're not going anywhere. Play, guys.
Well, you're going to the play-in?
No, you're not. Well, yeah, you are. Yeah, because
they can't get out of the play-in.
You can't get out.
They're tied with the Clippers right now, and they're still the 9th seed.
You're still 5 games up on Memphis, who you're going to play
Memphis
in your next game, and you're probably going to beat Memphis, and it'll be a 6-game lead. You're not going anywhere.
How unexciting is the play-in going to be if we're hosting the Clippers, but Denny's out?
Just get it over with.
Are we excited about that? I think that's when the play-in
This needs to be a Band-Aid and rip it off, dude. Just what are we doing? Remember when this was supposed to be, and the thing that I was laughing about, by the way, yesterday, 3 p.m. start on a Sunday, thanks to Swigard for texting. It's a beautiful day. I'm out doing stuff.
10
I'm
a.m. and 3 p.m. starts.
What are we? Oh, the Blazers
weekend.
are playing. Thank you for the alert. So I went and checked score, and now I got to watch the second half. Now, let me ask you this.
Yeah.
Storyline coming into the year after the second half of last year was what, Brandon Sprague? How good are we going to be defensively? Remember how much we talked about that? Okay, let me run through this.
Well, some of us were wondering if that was really going to happen again and wondered, hey, should we care more about the offense? Because I have concerns. And I was literally screamed at in the studio by somebody about how I was overinflating how bad the offense could be.
Yeah.
While underplaying and underselling the defense and how spectacular. Top 5, I was told. It's going to be a top 5 defense in the entire association. Okay. And I said, you sure about that? I went Tim Robinson on that person. And
you sure about that?
They're more bottom 10 than they are top 5.
Let me ask you about the pedigree of these players and what they're thought of on that end of the floor. Jeremy Grant.
Relatively fine defender.
Tamani Kamara.
All NBA.
Chris Murray.
It's supposed to be his bread and butter. 3-and-D guy is what he was billed as.
Donovan Clingan.
Pretty good.
Drew Holiday.
He's fine, but he's not what he
not
once
what he was, but
which is the concern of bringing in that contract, by the way, was age hits all of us there, Andrew.
That's your starting 5 yesterday.
I know.
Matisse Thybulle, what's he known as?
Basically only defensive.
Okay, just checking on that one. Blake Wellesley back in the starting lineup. What's his strength?
He's supposed to be brought in as the speedy defensive guy.
So there's 7 guys. What's the storyline around Shaden Sharp? Not great defensively. Doesn't really buy in on that end of the floor. Doesn't give the effort. You gave up 135 points yesterday to the Atlanta Hawks.
I think Jeremy Grant really enjoyed himself. Him and Tamani had to have gone to a club. Did you see their final? I mean, I watched it.
They were a combined 4 of 19 from the floor. All 4 of those were 3-pointers, and they were 4 of 13 from 3. They did not make a shot inside the 3-point line.
Dude, it's been
combined.
It's a weird season to talk about this team because sometimes you're like, screaming and hitting a panic button. And then other times you're like, hey, it's not so bad. And then you're back in the panic button. And it's just like
That's what you get in an 82
and that's
game
what you
season,
get with
the
long
ebbs and flows,
seasons. There's
sure.
I think the diehest of diehard fans who may not agree with anything we say, they do this. I see the red streams all the time. These people are constantly badgering the team and then telling you you're an idiot if you don't like the team enough, right? But like that's normal fan reaction behavior to have.
Right.
This weekend was very interesting. I didn't expect them to beat Charlotte. Charlotte's been playing great basketball.
No.
You lose to Atlanta, fine. To Swag's point, their record's better.
They lost by 34.
To lose and have that effort.
They have a 53-point loss and a 34-point loss in their first 5 games of the second half of the season.
I mean, my God, man. And you say, they got Memphis next. Okay, is Memphis
fair?
So bad that you can't possibly lose to them? I mean,
if you lose to Memphis, when's that Memphis game? Is that tomorrow?
Wednesday.
Memphis just beat Indy by 20.
So you lose to Memphis? Look, it's not going to happen. You're not going to fall out of the play-in, but if you lose to Memphis,
fill up on barbecue on Beale Street.
I will ask the question of, could this possibly happen if you lose to Memphis?
Would you? Okay, let me carry this over.
Okay.
I'll ask this question. Would you generally characterize the season for most, if you had to try to guess, the majority, would people say this year has been a success? Because the stat we just gave you, to me, it's like kind of alarming.
That your win-loss record-wise almost identical to where you were last year.
You're basically the same team
You're a game
at the
or
same
two
point.
ahead of that pace from last year.
That's alarming, and a lot of that is injury. There's no doubt.
Yes.
But also, you want to see some clear indications of building, and I don't know if we can all define that. So we'll get to that, and then we'll get to the Kenyon Sadiq weekend, and the thing that happened over the weekend that happened specifically for Andy Dirt Johnson.
What?
I'll tell you what that is.
I got one.
He doesn't know, actually.
I have no idea.
I'll tell you all of that next on The Fan.
a.m.
Man, the internet's crazy.
Cameras are everywhere.
You can scroll and you can see the video of Wemby flopping at 7'4", 260. And then you scroll right below it, and there's just an F-15 jet crashing down, $100 million jet.
Yeah.
Man, what crazy times we live in.
You want a crazy Wemby stat?
I'd love a crazy Wemby stat.
Since the All-Star break, Victor Wembanyama has 26 blocks since the All-Star break. I don't know how many games they played, 5, 6, somewhere in there. It's wild.
Not a ton.
That is more than any other team in the NBA.
Wow.
The Nets are number 2 at 24. Wemby himself has 26.
He's the depoy.
He is the depoy.
If he's eligible,
is he going to
for
hit
all
the
that-
games? Is he?
It just depends if he gets hurt. If he
Yeah.
doesn't, then yeah, I think
He's
if,
on
if he
pace
can
to
play,
hit the
he
games.
will play. Like
Yeah.
that's the good thing about that dude. If he can play, he will play. He wants to win the MVP. He wants to win the title. He wants all of that stuff. It's clear as last year they were a legitimate top 4 team defensively when he played.
Yep.
They were 28th when he was gone.
And they shut him down at the end of the year because of the health stuff. Insert another really good rookie player.
Yeah, I just
Here
nuts.
we go.
Just nuts. We're talking about the Blazers, and this weekend was interesting, and it's not that I think people have some crazy, unrealistic expectation. We know with Denny out and Shaden out, that's a lot of scoring. That's a lot of people gone that can get buckets and help your offense. To me, it's about trying to find the nuances of what the season is becoming, and I think a lot of the national narrative for most of the stretch, because people aren't going to talk about the Blazers now the rest of the year. Like
No.
the pundits are done talking about the Blazers.
Until the play-in happens, you'll get talked about for 48 hours, and then they move on.
And I think everybody is – it seems to be the consensus opinion is this season's a success, right? We had Orem on. He said as much. I think most people, when you ask them, they say as much. And then I ask you to remember last year, and I don't think you say last year is a success outside of Denny. And
Denny and the defense in the second half.
The defense. And we're one game better at this exact point than we were last year when people were like, well, it's all about next year.
We were openly tanking last year.
And I don't have an unrealistic expectation. I've been saying they're going to make the play-in. My whole goal this year was to be at least a play-in team at a minimum.
Yep.
I feel a little differently about the team now because the injuries have sucked.
Well, it's one thing to back your way in is probably the best phrase for it.
It's going to be a back
Like
end,
they're
though.
not getting in the play-in because of anything they've
'Cause they're playing
accomplished.
amazingly,
They've gotten the play-in because if they were in the East right now, they wouldn't be in the play-in. You realize that?
Yeah.
They wouldn't be in the 10 seed in the Eastern Conference. They're
Yes.
only in it because the bottom half of the West is disastrously
The
bad.
top half of the West is so good that the bottom is that bad.
I mean, you could legitimately not win a game the rest of the season and maybe still be a play-in team because I don't know how many more everybody else behind you is going to win. And you got about a 5-game lead and you only got 20 games to go.
It's entirely possible. You're right on that.
Right.
But I don't understand some of the stuff, and maybe I don't need to. Maybe it's as simple as what I'm saying, that the clear build is Donovan 2 and Denny, and everything else is
Expendable.
interchangeable, expendable, whatever you want to label it, because I just haven't understood, and I don't think Scoot's playing very well either, by the way.
Scoot was
for the
horrendous
record.
yesterday, yes.
I didn't think he was great in Charlotte.
No.
But I just playing Drew Holiday and Jeremy Grant 30-plus odd minutes and playing Scoot 22 just doesn't process in my brain, but, I'm not the one making all the decisions on this stuff. So who am I to question it, I guess? But they're the 10 seed today. I was wrong on that. They're in the 10, not the 9. And, they're going to keep moving forward, I guess, without Denny, and you just hope game to game, see what team shows up.
Yeah, I think your thought on the future of the franchise is probably what they're thinking of behind the scenes. It doesn't mean that it can't be frustrating. The Scoot one in particular, I know that he's not playing good basketball. He's in his third year. He's the third overall pick in the draft, man. Like the guy who was the second overall pick in the draft, he played on Saturday, having a pretty good year.
Yeah, he is. Yeah.
The guy who was the pick behind him, having a pretty good career. Houston, having a pretty good year. And so you're left with another draft where you're looking at it and saying,
of the top 4,
cool.
you have the whiff. That's, that could be the feel for a lot of people.
And the idea of where you're at and having hope as a fan, like even one of our most diehard Blazer P1s who, is one of those I'm setting my clock around when they're playing kind of guys, is saying, I'll check in and out the last couple of weeks of the season because there's not really a need. And we talked about this last week. We didn't want to sound depressing, but they're going to lose to the teams who are slightly better than them, which Atlanta, it's already better than you, even though they traded away who was their best player at the start of the year in the middle of the season. Charlotte has now jumped you. You lost both those games this weekend. Now, maybe Memphis isn't win because Memphis is actively trying to lose games on a night-in and night-out basis. That's not the case for Charlotte and Atlanta. But you're going to beat teams like that. You're going to lose to teams like this. That's the way the rest of your season is going to go, unless Denny comes back and is putting up 28 points again for the rest of the season. I don't understand the idea behind bringing a guy off the bench who's in his third year, who you're trying to get every ounce of information you possibly can out of before you make a decision in the offseason. And maybe to your larger point, they have already made that decision and they are moving on from him. So why the hell would we play him more than 20 minutes a night? Because he might get hurt in the remainder games, and then we're going to have a hard time dealing him in the offseason. But I do think the idea of not having Scoot or Shaden on the team, I know they extended Shaden this last offseason, but we know he's going to be included in trade talks.
That's a movable deal. Like
it's a very
team
movable
could roll
deal.
The dice on that contract.
Like the idea behind having back-to-back top 10 picks and neither of those guys being on the roster 5 years later is it's alarming and it's frustrating, because that's what you're going to have to hit on in order to dig yourself out of this hole to get back into relevancy in the NBA. You got good pieces, that's fine, but what we've seen this year is, one, Denny, as good as he is having a really hard time staying healthy, and we don't know what the future is going to hold health-wise. Klingon has taken a nice step, but what do we ultimately think his ceiling actually is, right?
I don't know.
Right? We don't know, and I'm not going to limit him to what he can accomplish.
Sure.
But I don't know what his ultimate impact is going to be. He's not going to be a Jokic type of center, right? He's going to be good defensively, knock down some threes, maybe he gets slightly better in that area, and Kamara certainly is a very good defensive piece. Has he gotten better offensively this year to you?
I think there's a little bit of an issue brewing with Kamara. I was texting with a friend in the market, and we were going back and forth, and I completely agree. I think he takes some bad threes at times. I think he's taken
far more this year than he did last year. He's taking over 7 a game last year. It was around 4.
To me, it's not about the amount. It's the threes you take.
Yeah.
That's what I was talking about with somebody, and they made the point of, like, some of the pull-up ones are just, what are you doing?
I mean, he's about to turn 26 years old. He's in his third year in the NBA, and he's averaging 13 points per game. Like,
I think defensively he still has so much juice.
He's great on that end of the floor, sure.
But I think this kind of just speaks to their whole team defense. Like, it's not what it was built. Like, their entire identity by the offseason, by the organization's own words, we're a defensive team now.
Yes.
That was their entire identity.
With him as the head of the snake, essentially.
Because he was all defense.
All
NBA.
And
he's still really good. Don't get me wrong here. But I look at it and I kind of go, okay, so you're going to build around those three is kind of what my takeaway is starting to become. And then who do you re-sign? Who do you trade? Who's clearly not a part of your long-term plans?
Yeah.
And, they drafted Ryan Rupert over him, by the way. They only got him in a trade.
They did.
Ryan Rupert is not on the roster.
Nope.
16th pick. Kind of a big deal. Kind of important. Do you find a wing guy, somebody that could help your team now? They drafted a guy who's clearly a project.
Who, by the way, one of the pieces you think they want to build around long-term plays what position?
Center.
And where did they take him in the draft the year before?
Right.
With a top 10 pick?
With a top 10 pick.
So then you had a first-round pick the next year, and
you trade it back so you could draft another center. So maybe Young will work out. I don't feel great about it. Scoot, they're not in love with him.
No.
Shaden, they gave the contract, but if you told them, hey, you can get this player or that player and you just got to trade Shaden, I don't know if they'd be objecting to it.
The minutes restriction has been lifted. They lost by 30 points yesterday, and he played 24 minutes in the game.
Yeah, it's just a game where
it's not like it's one of these. He's just coming off a hamstring injury. I know he was terrible. That's fine.
Give me 35
They lost
minutes.
by 34 points. It's not like anybody was lighting the world on fire yesterday.
I know. My whole point.
Jeremy Grant was 1 of 9 from the floor and played 30 minutes.
Their good stuff is from trades. And Donovan's good.
Donovan, yeah.
But their draft history, it's not
great.
It's not been bangers.
Not great.
So, we'll see where it goes. But their weekend was not a very good weekend. They clearly enjoyed Atlanta.
It's I think the frustrating part for the question of has it been a successful year, like there's certain things you want to point to, sure, Donovan's development, like Denny in the year that he was having prior to the injuries. There's things that you can point to and be positive about. The ultimate frustration I think that I share with a lot of, level-headed fans out there is that this is the 5th year in a row where you're ending the season with literally zero juice.
Yeah.
You could sell me the play-in.
That Blazer
fine.
fan point, by the way, is accurate. I have Blazer fans in my life that is just like,
dude,
it's not exciting.
I don't care anymore.
Yeah.
I don't. I'm going to watch because we're going to talk about it, and it'll be a topic on the show, and so I'll keep following. But there's zero excitement.
I didn't watch that whole Atlanta game. I turned that crap off.
It was 60 degrees on a Sunday. I'm not sitting inside on a 60-degree Sunday to watch. I saw the second half when we were cooking dinner, and that's what I watch, and that's the way the rest of my season will go. And we'll keep talking about him, but that to have that lifeless end of your season.
I know.
Don't sell me a play-in game for I don't care about a play-in. Shouldn't exist in the first place. It's an abomination.
Something happened over the weekend that was right up Dirt's alley. The universe handed Dirt something on a platter. We'll talk about it, and I'll tell you what it is before Swag with the Sports Update.
Now, from the George McCoy and Warren Allen Sports Desk, a Sports Center update on the Fan Sports Network, 105.1 FM and 1080 AM.
First on the Fan, Blazers looking very road weary over a weekend that included a pair of losses. The last one yesterday in Atlanta by 34 to the Hawks, 135-101. Portland will try and move on. They get a couple of days off now before they take on the Grizzlies in Memphis Wednesday. Kenyon Sadiq put on a show at the NFL Combine. He set a new record in the 40-yard dash for tight ends with 4.39 seconds. He also finished second at his position group in the vertical jump, the broad jump, and bench press reps. Safety Dylan Thieneman turning heads. He ran a 4.35 40, and many believe that will help him secure a first-round selection come April. The Oregon Ducks women's basketball team finished up the season with a 70-69 loss to Washington. They go to Indianapolis as the 11th seed in the Big Ten tournament. They open up Wednesday against Purdue. The Oregon State women losing in overtime to Loyola Marymount. That dropped them to the 4th seed in the WCC and allowed the Lions to win the conference and the number 1 seed over Gonzaga. More sports scores and stories in 30 minutes. Jason Swigart from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk. Hurt, missing work? Insurance companies acting like jerks? Don't call your mom. Call George McCoy at warrenallen.com.
The home of the Fan. 6:50 a.m.
All right, welcome back in. Portland Sports Leader 105.1, The Fan. Good morning. Happy Monday, everybody. Hope you're doing all right. The world's insane, but, we're here. We're hanging out.
We got the Blazers to complain about. That'll bring us all together.
Yeah, that should be the top of the priority list today.
Can I just... I had a beer met with a cousin up on a Friday afternoon, had a beer. Delightful afternoon on Friday. Beautiful weather. I was wearing shorts. Felt great.
I haven't drank in a long time. Nothing beats a sunny day.
Oh, it's great.
Cold beer.
Right? And we were going over world problems, and then eventually, once we solve all the world's problems, we then come to our local problems. And just the idea of like, man, I'm 37 years old, and in my adult life, how many times have they been a legitimate, like, hey, we could do something this year?
2 or 3, probably, right? Since you were 8, did you say 18 is your mark?
I mean, you could even go to like since I was old enough to remember, know what I'm watching. I'll grant you 19. I'll give you 2000. I'll give you that year because I remember it and I cried in the aftermath of it. How many since then?
Yeah, but you were still a little too young.
I had no idea what the future was going to hold and that they were
Right.
smoking weed and was wrapped up in tinfoil and were giving up. Like I didn't quite understand all of that.
Yeah.
It's all I want, man.
I just want to be the Cleveland Cavaliers.
Can you give me entertaining basketball and like legitimate hope in April and May?
Can I be a fun sleeper for the title in my
Right.
conference? That's
Dude,
all I'm asking for.
We get hot. You never know. One of those.
There's no doubt about it. I get what you're saying.
I just want hope. I have no hope. I need my Barack Obama poster for the Blazers.
That's all right. Maybe we will have hope at some point. Speaking of hope, you were hoping during the break that I was going to bring up that the Desmond Bane Orlando Magic trade has not gone how they thought it would be. They're the 7th seed right now.
One of those rare we were both kind of right because Rafael Devers was a disaster coming over. That was the debate we had was Desmond Bane or Rafael Devers and who will have the bigger impact.
Yeah,
Devers is terrible.
Yeah.
But now maybe he has a better year this year, but we'll see.
Anyways, the Magic are bad. They're not as good as the Pistons. That's not what I'm talking about. The sports gods this weekend handed something and said, Dirt, you're not only right, but everybody will be with you.
Oh, everybody's
Here
on board.
You go.
What do we got? What happened?
And I said, sports gods, you know what? I'm kind of glad he's right.
Are you so tired of winning? I'm winning so much. You're so tired of winning over there?
Did you watch the Friday night Thunder Nugget game?
I did watch the Friday night Thunder Nugget.
We had a
Nugget
Jokic
game.
fight.
We did.
And what happened? 88-88, 8 minutes to go in the fourth quarter. Thunder hit a bucket, 90-88. It's a great basketball game.
Sure, Thunder are going to pull away, though. SGA's playing.
Well, I went to overtime. Lou Dort, for no reason, sticks his foot and his hip into Nikola Jokic, who's just trotting back in typical Jokic form, knocks him to the ground, looks like it gets into his leg area, which is dangerous for a big.
Super dirty play.
Jokic gets up, immediately grabs Lou Dort, and then Jalen Williams comes in to break it up. All the teams now are fighting, and Jokic is caught staring with a smile of, I will murder you, Jalen Williams. You do not understand.
This is one of the scariest athlete photos I've ever seen.
What I am capable of. And everybody now has photoshopped Joker face paint from Batman onto his crazy face, which it looks perfect, actually.
Why so serious?
And so you are the biggest of Jokic guys, and now you have people hate the Oklahoma City Thunder in a way that you absolutely did last year.
Dirty-ass players in a city that shouldn't have a team anyways.
Against
bunch
a city
of fake-ass
that stole a team.
fans.
Look at you.
Yeah.
The sports world delivered. I think Jokic is a FU guy is perfect. He needs this for his brand.
He needs the I care idea behind him, and now he has it when you're trying to – I know he's done that this time in his career, but –
And the Thunder have basically just been foul baiting but amazing basketball team who might have a dynasty. Well, now we hate them because they're dirty and they're gross. Screw those guys. The sports world is handed the sports takes of one Anteater Johnson on a sports platter.
Amen to Charles Barkley, too, in the postgame of that, who saw Chet Holmgren walking around shirtless and told him he shouldn't be legally allowed to do that because he's too scary looking. And amen to you, Barkley, because that guy should not be able to go anywhere without a shirt on. He should be mandated to put on 15 pounds before he's allowed to play another game in the NBA. Just watching him even in an NBA jersey makes me uncomfortable. At any moment, I'm worried somebody's going to foul him taking a jump shot and it's like his wrist is going to just snap in half and his hand's going to fall off because he's too damn skinny. Somebody get that guy a ribeye steak. I got to give the – look, first off, everybody hate OKC with me. That's wonderful. We can't stand him. Lou Dort's a dirty-ass player. And for all the animosity that Draymond Green has gotten in his years, Draymond Green is actually a legitimate passer and a bona fide a first-team All-NBA defensive kind of guy. Not that Lou Dort's bad defense. Lou Dort is just as dirty, if not more dirty, than Draymond Green. And you could go look up a lot of pieces of evidence over the years. He just doesn't get the same flack because he's not running his mouth. He's not yelling at the officials the entire game. And he doesn't play for, or at least hasn't yet, the dynasty that Draymond Green played for. So maybe we get there with Lou Dort. There is no excuse for that. How is that not lengthy suspension maybe is too much? Like, he stopped as one of the best player on the other team is running up the floor, stuck his hip out on purpose to hit him in the lower body and knock him over.
Too, if you look at his foot.
Like, it's
a dirty play.
There's nothing basketball related at all. You just stopped what you were doing, knocked him over, and purposely tried to hurt him.
Yeah.
The best player on the other team.
I'm with you.
And so if Adam Silver had one ball, let alone two balls, he should be suspended for 10 games. Like, get him out of here. You cannot have that kind of stuff flying around. But a phenomenal night for the league, man. Like, we always complain about the NBA guys not caring enough, or guys are in and out of the lineup, or it's a meaningless regular season game.
These are becoming bad narratives. If people are paying attention at all to that league, these narratives, I will defend basketball, I know. And at times, I also understand why people kind of tuned out of basketball.
That game was incredible on Friday night.
Dude, minus the annoying tanking thing, the season's good when you watch the good teams play.
T-Wolves Nuggets yesterday was fantastic,
and
man.
that's a first-round matchup, by the way, right now.
Yes, it is. You had Jokic go for 35, 13, and 9, and they lost the game.
Yes.
Anthony Edwards was double-teamed every time up the floor, and he's answering questions about how last year he was having a hard time dealing with this, and this year he's adjusting and figuring out ways around it. Like, those were really good basketball games with really good teams and really good players involved.
Jokic and Murray, I think, combined for 61 points.
60, yeah. I think Jokic had 35, and I think Murray had 25 in the game, and they still lost by almost double digits.
Which is why I don't think they'll win a title. They get Gordon back, and it changes everything.
To your larger point, yeah.
You've got the 4-5 matchup right now is Minnesota, Denver. That's going to be stellar. You've got, obviously, the storyline of Oklahoma City now, a little dirty, a little annoying as they've become, right? So It's heating up. That one was fun, though, because there was kind of no reason outside of the stuff you pointed to with Oklahoma City. They were kind of just this bland, great team. And they've built up this, you're that team.
We eventually hate them. It always
need something
happens.
To hate somebody, right? Yeah. And I think you had that. And then Jokic is generally kind of boring. He doesn't care about anything. He just likes horses, and he dominates.
Unless it's a Morris twin, then he'll try and rip your head off, and his brothers will try and kill you.
They should be making a poster of his face and selling that at Denver home games, because that is phenomenal to see that guy go to that level of, he's going psycho.
You put that thing on a T-shirt, it's going to sell out like hotcakes.
Just great. It was great. It was a good weekend for you.
It's great.
A good weekend for you.
I don't know how far my guy Jokic is going to go, though, to your point about not having Gordon. Like, he didn't shoot the ball well on Friday, but still had a great impact on the game. Much better shooting the ball yesterday against Minnesota.
Right.
And it's wild to see them lose both of those games despite him putting up triple doubles.
All right, let's get to the weekend that was for Kenyon Sadiq and Dylan Thieneman. A great weekend for them, and this intel out of Eugene. We'll get to it next on The Fan.
It's time for Who's Stinking It Up?
Woo! Do not go in there.
A sports lowlight, ripped from the headlines.
We couldn't do diddly poo.
Brought to you by Three Mountains Home Services. Schedule your appointment online at threemountainshomservices.com.
The NDC had 3 quick fouls. We went small early. We couldn't stay in front of people. They got to the rim, and then we couldn't rebound the ball.
There's your Blazers basketball coach, Tiago Splitter.
Tell me what went wrong, Tiago.
Everything. They were almost doubled up for the first quarter. They lost over the weekend to Charlotte and the Hawks. They lost the Hawks 135-101.
You think they were more on a wing hangover or up tops hangover? What do you think? Combination of both?
I
Too
think
many
it's a
wings?
backside hangover.
Too many? Oh.
In Atlanta?
Oh.
Backside hangover.
Okay.
Which whatever. Who's stinking it up? The Blazers yesterday against the Atlanta Hawks, brought to you by Three Mountains Home Services. Our friends at Three Mountains Home Services have a sweet special this March. Purchase a new high-efficiency HVAC system and score a 16-year parts and labor warranty. 16 seasons of comfort starts now. Visit threemountainshomservices.com today.
This March.
a.m.
All right. Third hour around the corner, fourth hour around the corner. Good morning. Happy Monday, everybody. By the way,
Shout out the Hoggies.
shout out the Hoggies. You guys are
Always
important.
and forever.
How'd
Absolutely.
the Hoggies do at the Combine? Aren't a
Hoggies
bunch of them
did
at
great.
the Combine?
Hoggies did great.
Hoggies were out there running.
Really good weekend for D'Angelo Pons, too, even though he's undersized. A lot of people are like, hey, that guy's good at
Was.
football, and he's amazing. He's an athlete.
Yeah, some of the numbers were like, man, is that going to change the perception on drafting a corner under a certain height?
Well, you always want the program players to do well because it ends up reflecting really well on the coaching and development program, and that's
Sure.
what Oregon got this weekend. I mean, Dylan Thieneman, he tested out. He was one of the risers for multiple draft people. He's 6 foot.
4.35, 40.
Yeah, he's 6 foot, 200 pounds, a 4.35 40.
I think he was in the top
5-inch vert.
5 of most of the other testing categories or something.
I mean, the stories
just-
you hear about him out of Eugene too were like, every day in the facility at 3:00 in the morning. It just he's a football
And
psycho.
football IQ.
No distractions.
Yeah.
Nothing outside of football
Like,
other
he
than
can
making a
make- he'll be
Caucasian
able to make
collision
all the
unit.
calls
Sure.
Right.
in the secondary and all that sort of stuff.
Well, he's going to get drafted now, I think, in the first round. I think he potentially played his way into the first round because of his size, his smarts, all that.
Yeah, the 40 time helps.
The other guy we were curious about, we knew he would test out well. We talked about this. He's going to do
gonna blow
stuff,
him away.
and people are going to move him up. And it happened exactly like that. Kenyon Sadiq, so he ran officially a 4.4, and then they had to
said
go back
4.39.
and say, our clocks have been wrong all weekend. 4.39
Sub
40.
4.4 for a tight end.
By the way, him and Eli Stowers were some of the biggest winners of the weekend as well. The tight end / receiver from Vanderbilt.
Because he almost broke. He was in the top 10 too. He didn't quite break the 40 time record, but I believe I saw he was top 5 all time or something.
He ran a 4.5, I think.
Yeah.
4.51, I think.
And I
is
think
what
the
saw.
average tight end speed is 4.75.
Sounds about right.
So he beat that, and then Sadiq beat him in the 40.
it's
and
the
then
fastest 40 time ever for a tight end at the combine.
yes, it's the fastest ever. And then in the broad and the vert, Stowers beat Sadiq.
Yeah.
And so Sadiq was unbelievable. He jumped 11 feet 1 inches on his broad. The average for tight ends, I saw this from McShay. The average broad jump for tight ends is 9 feet 4 inches.
Blew it out of the water.
And he jumped 11-1. Now, one thing about Sadiq that people have going into the draft, and we talked about this during the season, hey, Kenyon Sadiq not having quite the season I thought he would. Todd McShay on his podcast after ranting and raving about how great Eli Stowers and Kenyon Sadiq tested out, he said he talked to a scout who heard this from an Oregon staffer, and then the fallout happened.
They're like, yeah, I don't know. It just seems like they're frustrated. And the general sense I got, and there were quotes in there, and I'm not going to give away the exact quotes because it might give away the person who said it, was that, man, we loved the guy when he was the number 2 tight end. We loved the way he worked. He showed up. But now he's the number 1 guy. It's not the same. And we're trying to kind of push that, right? And that got to me, and I made a comment. And then literally there was a letter sent out to all scouts, I guess, in the league that would come through Oregon, and people were pissed off. But I noticed within the next 2 weeks, this spark was lit, right? And it seems like sometimes in life it takes motivation. It takes maybe hey, word's getting out that I'm not doing what I need to do. It takes something smacking you in the face to realize, man, I've got so much going for me. I better not blow this, right? And I got to refocus. And you could see in the second half of the season the fire in his game. And finding ways to get down the field, the extended catches, some of the blocks, and that from that point on, somewhere in mid-October, I want to say, he became the threat and the weapon, and he's never turned back.
So really interesting note there. By the way, Oregon, because that leaked, sent memos to all NFL scouts and said, if you come to our facility, don't report this kind of stuff ever.
Or you're not coming back.
It leaked that they basically shared with scouts that they were kind of noticing that he was not the same as a number 1 versus being a number 2. And it obviously it pissed him off because you don't want word like that getting out for your players' sake. And then to Todd McShay's point, kind of changed the way his season kind of ended.
Look, he's a very well scouted person, a very well sourced person. I'm not saying he's making this report up.
No, because he talked about this on his pod
Sure,
during
at
the
the
season
time.
that they were kind of like, what's going on here?
I also think a couple of things at play here for me.
Mm-hmm.
One, I think Kenyon Sadiq is a fascinating case study in Oregon football because 2 years ago, he was what, according to Will Stein? Baby Brock Bowers.
Yes.
That was 2 years ago when he was like tight end 3 on the roster. And coming into the year, we had these massive expectations, and it wasn't like he was terrible. He didn't score a touchdown until the Big Ten championship game. Now, when he scored touchdowns, they were pretty noteworthy because he's hurdling guys, and you're like, oh, my God, there it is. I could see it. But it wasn't like he wowed everybody in his second year, and the numbers were off the charts. Coming into this year, I do think there was a different level of pressure on him of, I'm not the guy in the background anymore. I'm the forefront of the offense now.
Defenses aren't just honing in on Ferguson.
I'm not just an athletic piece that's out there occasionally on 20% of snaps. I'm the focal point of the offense at this juncture. And so I do think there's a different level of pressure that comes with that from his standpoint. The other thing, too, and we got to be fair to Sadiq here, again, maybe there was a 10% less effort. Maybe there was internally behind the scenes in practice. I think also one of the most underreported things about Kenyon Sadiq this year is how banged up he was. Remember, they had a game, that early big noon game at Northwestern. If you go back and watch one of the touchdown catches he had in that game, he took a really hard fall on his back, and he was banged up basically from that point on for the next month. He got hurt again in the Penn State game. He was incredibly limited the first time Indiana came to town.
Didn't he get hurt in the Rutgers game?
He took hard falls in the because every time Dante Moore would throw him a touchdown pass, it was like slightly out of reach,
athletic play.
And he kept having to jump and then fall directly on his back to make a play. He missed the Iowa game in the regular season, didn't play at all. And so you could tell me that it was a wake-up. Okay, fine. And also he got healthy in the back half of the year, and they were incredibly banged up at wide receiver, and all of a sudden they had to be more creative with the way that they used him, and he had massive game after massive game after massive game basically the rest of the way. And so I'm not discrediting what McShay is saying. I also think there's a little bit more at play there in terms of pressure. Injuries have piled up at the start of the year, but he definitely turned heads this weekend with the way he performed.
With the performance and numbers he got, I don't want to undersell Thieneman. Thieneman had a phenomenal weekend for himself.
He will be a first-round pick. But,
yes.
But Sadiq is now like, dude, are you taking him in the top 10 with those numbers?
I mean, if you're Kansas City, are you not thinking about Jeremiah Love and Kenyon Sadiq?
The number that blew me away the most on Sadiq, because he shattered the speed records of tight ends we've ever seen.
Did you watch the video of it?
Yes.
They showed him running with Christian McCaffrey and Saquon Barkley.
I told you he's the most impressive physical specimen that I've ever seen.
I mean, it was
close. It doesn't make sense. His 40-yard dash top speed that he ran was 23.2 miles per hour.
Yeah.
That's the fastest number he hit running the 40.
Yeah.
That is the same top-end speed in the 40-yard dash at the NFL Combine as Jahmyr Gibbs.
Yeah.
Jahmyr Gibbs weighed 199 pounds at the day of the Combine. Kenyon Sadiq weighs north of 240 pounds.
He's 241 officially.
And he ran the same mile-per-hour speed as one of the fastest running backs. Like, I'm not kidding you. I've honestly wondered at times if he's better served switching positions. And I know he's a dynamic blocker.
You mean being a receiver?
Just go line up outside.
They're talking about Stowers potentially doing that because he grades out so well.
You're running a 4.39. You're hitting 23 miles per hour. You can move him inside occasionally in heavier packages if you want to, but just Jimmy Graham this thing, man.
I think he's going to be Kelsey. I think it's going to be a Kittle-Kelsey thing where Kelsey's in the slot a lot. I mean, occasionally they bring him in. He's a good run blocker, so I think you're going to see a lot of that. Maybe even a Jimmy Graham situation where he's a tight end and then
he's
they argue.
Questioning when you franchise tag him, am I a wide receiver or am I a tight end? What's my number going to be?
I'm with you 100%. I'm not going to say McShay and the scout don't have it. There probably was some frustration internally, like the season's not going out. We thought it would be for him.
I also wonder how much that had to do with play calling and game planning and design.
There's a little bit of that.
Look, we'll see how it works in the NFL.
Yeah.
There is an internal fear, I think, amongst a lot of Oregon fans that this is Herbert 2.0. Herbert was a good college quarterback.
He's going to get unleashed, and we go, what? We had this
where the
time?
hell was that?
Yeah.
Herbert's rookie year in the NFL was an eye-opener of how Marcus Arroyo should never call plays again.
Would you take the over or the under the 16.5 number we did?
Under.
Yeah. I think
under. You can't be that athletic and slip that far.
I know.
You just can't.
What if the Eagles get him?
God, please not the Eagles. Let it be a team I want to root for.
Fly
please.
birds fly.
That's all I ask.
Loaded third hour of the program. Went a little long there on Kenyon Sadiq. Dylan Thieneman having a great weekend as well. Third hour, Dirt and Sprague 105.1 The Fan.
Now, from the George McCoy and Warren Allen Sports Desk, a Sports Center update on the Fan Sports Network, 105.1 FM and 1080 AM.
First on the Fan, it was a last weekend on the Atlantic coast for the Blazers, losing Saturday morning in Charlotte and then getting hammered in Atlanta by the Hawks, 135-101. Onyeka Okongwu led 6 Hawks in double figures with 25 points and 10 boards. Portland now gets a couple of days to think about it before they take on the Grizzlies Wednesday in Memphis. Kenyon Sadiq, well, he looked like the freak many expected at the NFL Combine, setting a record in the 40-yard dash for tight ends with a 4.39. He also finished second in his position group in the vertical jump, broad jump, and bench press reps. Safety Dylan Thieneman turning heads with a 4.35 40. And many believe that, as well as the rest of his performance, secured him a first-round selection. Shane Lowry had a 3-shot lead with 3 holes to play at the Cognizant Classic at PGA National. He then double bogeyed 16 and 17, allowing Nico Echeverria to win his 3rd PGA tournament of his career by 2 shots at 17 under par. More sports scores and stories in 30 minutes. Jason Swigart from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk. Hurt missing work? Insurance companies acting like jerks? Don't call your mom. Call George McCoy at warrenallen.com.
Your home for the Fan Sports Network.
Hey, welcome back in. Hour number 3. Dirt and Sprague here, Portland Sports Leader, 105.1 FM, The Fan, 1080 AM, the Odyssey app, live on YouTube. Good morning.
Here we go, man. Here we go.
Here we go. Here we go. Got a lot to get to in this hour. Are we in the trust tree? Can I do a segment that's a trust tree segment and ask a question aloud without people throwing tomatoes at me?
I always thought this show in general was a giant trust tree.
Okay.
Sports takes, life thoughts.
Okay.
By the way, I emailed for a guest, and I have not gotten a response, and I think it's because I wrote we're a sports radio show.
Who'd you ask for? You want somebody to come on from Iran?
No, what?
Breaking
I don't think that's
international
possible
news?
right now. No,
Actually,
no.
I think they cut their internet.
Although I will say, not to get too doom and gloom, which is already doom and gloomy in the world, pretty wild to see all the sporting fallout of everything. Did you I saw the FIBAs were going on in Dubai.
Yeah, have fun with that.
And
Iran's playing in the World Cup.
Tournament in Dubai.
Tennis
and
tournament.
A few of them can't get their.
What's going to happen to old Tom Brady's flag football game now? Is he still putting that thing on?
I think that's going to be paused. Iran's World Cup team is probably not going to be able to play in the World Cup now. Their
probably not.
Manager or whoever it was came out and was like, yeah, this isn't probably going to be happening for us.
Yeah.
It's really unfortunate, but it's who's the NBA draft guy? Gavoni. He was like, pretty wild scene. I'm at the FIBA World Cup under whatever tournament.
Oh, he's there watching,
and they
scouting
literally
guys.
blew the whistle and had everybody
Get
have
the
to
hell
get
outta
off the
here.
court because bombing started.
Jesus, man. Well, other than that, things are going great right now, Bob. So I will have a trust tree conversation in a moment. I'm going to make a comparison. I'm going to throw it. I'm going to put it's a little trial balloon. I'm going to float something up into the atmosphere and see how people react to it. Okay? So don't yell at me quite yet. We'll get there.
You better be careful. We'll shoot those down with lasers now.
That we will. One listener chiming in saying if Brock Bowers isn't a top 10 pick, there's no way Kenyon Sadiq should be either. And I think you're conflating two different things on a take like that. There's not a human alive, myself included, that thinks that Kenyon Sadiq is a better tight end prospect than Brock Bowers. He's one of the best we've seen come out of college in the last 10 years. The guy was a dynamite number 1 option at Georgia. His numbers were blowing Kenyon Sadiq's off the page.
We also don't know who's going to end up being a better pro.
No, I'm sure Brock Bowers is a really good player, right?
Yeah, I know that.
It's not like he's been a disappointment, and nobody's arguing the two are the same player. Kenyon Sadiq's more athletically freaky than Brock Bowers, and Brock Bowers is a better football player, at least based on the evidence we have. You're also dealing with the draft in 2024. You know how many quarterbacks were taken before Brock Bowers in 2024? Because he was the 13th pick in the draft. There were 6. 6 of the top 12 picks were quarterbacks.
It makes the draft a lot different when it's not. It's defensive line, linebacker, heavy. That's what this draft is.
If there were 6 quarterbacks going in the first round this year, Kenyon Sadiq would not have a snowball's chance in hell of being a top 10 pick.
Right.
How many quarterbacks are going to go in the top 10? It would be shocking if there's more than one, right?
I don't even know if there's going to be 2 in the first round.
There might not even be 2 in the first round. He might have won the entire first round. So that's where like draft positioning can get a little loosey-goosey. Like nobody's comparing them as prospects. Kenyon Sadiq is fascinating to me. Like, how do you guys view him in the NFL? Where would your trust level be? Because I have a very, it's kind of, not love-hate's not the right word.
But hard thing to say with draft picks, man.
I know. But when you get somebody that tests to that level.
I'm all in.
It opens every, yeah, no, you're just, I don't care.
Look, I tend to be a little biased in the way of, like, I root for the local guys. There's very rarely you find a local player from Oregon State, UW, Wazoo that I can't even think of one, actually.
Unless you're just a scumbag off the field.
Sure.
Usually, yeah.
And if that comes out, then yeah, right? Cliff Harris doesn't work out. It's too bad. But I hope they all do well. If Kenyon Sadiq was exactly this but came from Auburn, I'm all in. Like, I'm gonna roll the dice on the guy that measures and tests out in a way that nobody's ever seen at a position.
Yeah.
I will take that. I also saw him run block. That's an underrated one. I got in an argument years ago with our old friend James Dockery, and he ended up being right, Kelsey or Kittle.
Yeah.
And this was before the Chiefs won the Super Bowls, right? I think they had about to win their first one, and we were debating on Twitter years ago.
They'd been in the AFC title game the year before.
They were good.
They were starting to emerge on the scene.
And I was like, I'm a little biased, but give me Kittle. He's a better run blocker than Kelsey. And he's like, nah, give me Kelsey all day. Now, he ended up being right in this.
I also would say, too, like, he is right,
yes.
But also if you flipped the roles of the two guys on the teams, like,
That's
there is
fine.
a world that exists.
I'm going
Playing
to give
with Patrick
Kelsey his
Mahomes
flowers. I'll give Kelsey his flowers. He's he's one of the best to ever do it.
One had Jimmy Garoppolo. The other one had maybe the greatest quarterback of all time.
But my point is, a 4.39 is insane. Somebody was asking how he compares to Megatron and big wide receivers. And I think he's going to be a tight end in the NFL because I think people will want his run blocking. I also won't be shocked if he does a lot of Kelsey Graham stuff and he's in the slot.
Yeah.
Or even on the outside in a jump ball end zone situation, right? Like, why would you not want to see if that guy can jump 44 inches off the ground to catch it over a 5'10 DB? Give me that all day. So I think he's going to be phenomenal.
Ironically, on that note, too, when he really started, like, you can point to the second half of the year when you wake up, a lot of that was him lining up at wide receiver. A lot of his stuff came against USC. I think he had one touchdown against USC where it was play action. He was lined up at tight end. A lot of it was like they were so banged up. They had no healthy wide receivers, remember, in the back half of the year. They had to flex him outside because Johnson was coming on at tight end, and that's when he was killing people because you can't. What do you cover him with? If it's a corner, he's too small. If it's a linebacker, he's too fast, and it's just a mismatch.
So let's go back to the McShay cut, right? Because you called it out a little bit. It's not that, to me, McShay got bad information or the scout relayed bad information. I think there's probably truth in it. Here's where the truth could be. Is it possible internally they were disappointed, but also internally he didn't think he was being used right?
Very well could have been.
And so they sorted
that out. And there's a frustration on his end.
And he's like, dude, line me up. I can dominate these DBs. I'm way too fast for linebackers.
Yeah.
Put me in good situations. I think it's entirely possible because I don't think Oregon's ever going to comment on that stuff other than, no, we always supported Kenyon and gave him everything.
Right.
I think it's entirely possible that he started the season and I was like, this is stupid. I'm an absolute unicorn.
Why am I not tearing defenses apart right now? Why am I not getting the football? You know how many touches he had in the first? So they beat Montana State in week 1, 59-13. Mm-hmm. Then it was the 69ing of the Cowboys in week 2.
Yeah.
You know how many total touches he had the first 2 games of the season?
I don't.
He had a total of 5 touches.
Yeah, that would piss me off, too, if I came
One catch for 20 yards, went for a touchdown against Montana State. Remember, they threw it to him behind the line of scrimmage, and he shoved a guy off of him and ran it in for the touchdown. He had 2 catches for 40 yards against Oklahoma State. Everybody was scoring touchdowns in that game. He had 2 catches for 40 yards.
How many targets did he have?
I don't. It doesn't list. I'd have to go back to the specific
to have a touchdown in if we're going to be doing
game logs, but it didn't. Like it. What I mean, I know he occasionally dropped a ball, but if he's got 2 catches for 40 yards and Dante Moore's lighting the world on fire, I can't imagine there's a lot of more targets there that aren't going caught. And so. Yeah, I mean, and this is where I brought up the Herbert thing in the last segment. Like, Herbert was a good college quarterback. We all knew that. But there was always this question of, like, God, I thought he was – and then he broke into the NFL, and I know he's a hotly debated guy in that level, but there's no debate whether or not he's a top 10 quarterback in the league.
He's a quarterback you would want to sign on another contract.
If you don't think Justin Herbert's a top 10 quarterback in the league, you're an idigit, okay? Now, we can debate where he falls in the top 10. You're a moron if you don't think he's a top 10 quarterback. You cannot tell me there's 10 better in the league than him. When he broke in and you're like, dude, why didn't we see any of this in college? And I do have that fear. Like, I don't know what Sadiq's going to be in the NFL. I think the only fear that I have with him is that what we're talking about is the kind of tweener status of him where He's not quite as big as some of the other tight ends, and how does that work run blocking wise in the NFL? But maybe he makes up for it in the
He's so
speed,
damn
and you let him.
strong,
I
too,
know,
though, you know?
I know. I'm just saying, like that's the only concern. But if he comes out like let's say Kansas City does draft him, I don't think that'll happen. But maybe they do at 9.
Yeah.
And he goes there, and he's the heir apparent to Travis Kelce, and he comes out with like 800 yards and 9 touchdowns next year in the NFL. I'm gonna look back and say, dude, are you kidding me?
Well, I think it's...
We got the guy like 5 touchdowns all year in college football.
I think a lot of this is just so about where you land, too. I
Yes,
mean,
fit's a huge part of it.
Kyle Pitts is kind of canned a little bit. Not a lot, but there's people that's like, Kyle Pitts, waiting for that to hit. And I would argue Kyle Pitts has had a good career. Maybe not the Tony Gonzalez, Kelsey type start. We with Gronk, right? We kind of thought that. But also this is like, what's Atlanta been in his time there? How many different quarterbacks are throwing him passes?
A lot of bad quarterbacks.
Is he somewhat like this in terms of how he's used? Is he used right?
Yeah.
I think when you got these really unique talents that kind of morph 2 spots in a way because of their size and their strength and all their athleticism, I think there's a lot of play callers and organizations that might actually struggle to find where the right avenue is. And look, Brock Bowers is phenomenal. Back to that listener point, I don't want to suggest that Kenyon Sadiq, I'm going to say he's infinitely going to be better. They're different. They're such different players. But I also wouldn't dismiss the idea that Brock Bowers, is he going to stay injury-free? You just don't know how any of this is going to shake out. So, if you want to take Sadiq, and to your point, it was a quarterback draft heavy.
Yeah, there's 6 in the top 12 picks are quarterbacks.
There's going to maybe be 1 drafted in the first round. Maybe Ty Simpson sneaks in.
Could be back end.
Maybe Taylon Green, we haven't talked about, like he just wowed somebody and somebody back in Lamar Jackson. Hey, in 2 years, 3 years. But Kenyon Sadiq with those, I'm taking that. I'm rolling the dice all day and saying that guy is going to be an all-pro.
Yeah. We'll see how it works out. Numbers are great at the Combine. Curious to see how much that ends up helping his stock. We're about a month and a half away from the draft, coming up in about 6 weeks from now, so it's right around the corner.
By the way, do you know who had the most catches amongst tight ends last year?
In all of college football?
No, in all the NFL.
In all of the NFL. Oh.
This one is an easy one.
Arizona. What's his nuts?
McBride.
Thank you.
So, McBride, do you know the second one?
Most catches for a tight end.
Most catches in a tight end.
Oh. Is it Kyle Pitts?
It's Kyle Pitts.
Yeah.
And you know who's after him?
Goddard?
Nope.
Oh.
Not Bowers. Got hurt.
Yeah, he was banged up.
Kelsey, down a little bit.
Yeah.
Jawan Johnson.
Jawan Johnson.
So
Hey, Duck legend Jawan Johnson.
Can Sadiq?
A guy who went the other way. He was a wide receiver, but he was slow and fat. And they're like, move his ass inside.
Let's get you in a little bit here,
Keep
buddy.
beefing up with that New Orleans food. We'll make you a tight end. You can block
So,
a little bit.
can he do that? Yeah. I think he absolutely can be that in the NFL. You just got to land in the right system, and you got to have a quarterback.
Yeah,
You don't
that
have
helps a lot,
quarterback,
man.
good luck.
That absolutely helps a lot. I'm going to throw something out there that I'm a little bit concerned by. Rational fear, irrational fear. Is this a fair assessment? I'll tell you what it is next on The Fan. All right, I have a fear, and I want to see if you guys can alleviate that fear. But before we get to that, hold on one second. We got a bit of a thing that I wanted to pass along here. I want to make sure I got all my ducks in a row.
We got breaking news?
Yeah, buddy. Big-time breaking news.
Who do we bomb now?
I mean, just big-time stuff here. Your Portland Trailblazers.
Oh, I saw this.
We're busy. Trade deadline might be over.
We spend to win.
Doesn't mean we can't be active. Your Portland Trailblazers have signed guard Chris Youngblood to a two-way deal.
What?
Sizzler.
They gonna win the G League title?
You're damn right we are. Here come the remix. Hang a
Yes.
banner. It's the only one we got a chance of winning. Why are we signing a guard to a anyways, I digress.
It's
okay.
a two-way
I
contract.
know. Who cares? Who cares? It's just funny. I have a fear, and I want to know. I want to get your reactions to it, okay? Now, it's funny because you teased something doing a segment for Dirt, and I thought you were going to bring something up today and allow me a moment of sunshine. Now, it's probably too soon for sunshine because we got to wait and see how the rest of the thing plays out. But as of right now, there is a team out there that is concerning me, and I'm going to correlate it to the future of the Portland Trail Blazers, and I want to see if you have the same fear, okay? We talked about a team this offseason who made a massive move. There was a team out there who traded 5 first-round picks to go get a missing ingredient. You know what team I'm talking about?
Yeah, the Orlando Magic.
The Orlando Magic. They
or
lost
the Knicks, depending on
well,
what team you are
they
talking
also
about.
did. They've at least been to a conference final, so I'll give them credit there.
Yeah.
The Magic traded 5 first-round picks for Desmond Bane. Now, we debated it at the time, and this isn't a revisit of the debate. It's more of just a question of roster building and how do you go about it, and do they have a flaw on their roster that we also have? So the dots I'm connecting here, they played Detroit this weekend. They got killed. They lost by 15, I think, something like that to Detroit.
They're a play-in team.
They're a play-in team in the Eastern Conference. They're behind Philly, who's, in and out of a beat in the lineup. They're behind Toronto. Cleveland's obviously better than them. New York, Boston, and Detroit. There's 7 seed in the East. By the way, tied with Miami for the 7 seed in the East. So for a team that traded 5 first-round picks, I think their goals and expectations this year were we've been a playoff team. Desmond Bane is a missing piece for us. Let's take the next step.
Mm-hmm.
There seems to be a bit of a flaw here in 2 ways, and I think the biggest one in Orlando is a question that I'm now asking aloud, now that I'm starting to follow the NBA a little bit more closely. Do you know the season started? Do they have a number one guy? Paolo Banchero is a really good player. I think we all acknowledge he's a really good player.
Mm-hmm.
Is he a number one on a title team?
I don't believe so.
Okay. Franz Wagner, very good player.
Yes.
Is he a number one on a title team?
I don't believe so.
Okay, so this is a team that was a playoff team that then said, hey, we got Banchero, we got
young, good
Wagner,
players.
we got to build around him.
Yeah.
Let's use all of our future assets and go get a missing piece. And Desmond Bane has not been terrible. He's scoring 20 a game this year. Like, he's not been necessarily a problem. It was the question at the time of, are you giving up too much without a lot in return? But I almost think, like, the problem with Orlando is the fundamental flaw of they're building around a guy that can't really be built around, if that makes sense. Is that he's not the
Which guy are you talking about?
either one, because I don't think either one is the center of the universe of that team. I think they could be a rotating planet, but I don't know if they have the key ingredient. And the reason I bring this up is I am having a fear in the back of my mind that we do something similar this offseason in Denny Avdia as Paolo Banchero. Trust tree segment here. I'm worried about that. Because I think he's certainly
he's going to get an extension. So how much?
This is my point. You're going to pay, especially if he's all NBA. He's going to get a max contract.
If he doesn't make the game requirement, he
might not. He very well not. But he's still got a chance to do it.
Yep.
But if he doesn't, you're still going to pay him. And he's going to get a massive contract extension. I don't know what the numbers would be off the top of my head. And I certainly think that Denny Avdia is a very good player. Nobody disagrees. He was an all-star this year. It's the first time we've had an all-star since Damian Lillard. Right? It's been a hot minute for us. But is he genuinely one of the guys that you can build around, and is he the guy that you want to use your assets to build a roster around? And what does that team look like in the Western Conference next year?
It's also funny to think about, one, how it was a bad trade when they got him, and then it was not such a bad trade now, is it? You know that contract, it goes down.
Right.
And it's funny to me to think potentially this offseason they're going to extend, because how does he not tell his representatives, get me more money?
I was an all-star. I averaged 27 points per game or whatever it is.
And we look back and go, hey, remember that thing we were bragging about with contracts that lasted all of 2 years and we accomplished almost nothing from it?
He has 2 more full years left on the deal, by the way.
Right.
On the de-escalating contract.
You don't think his agents are going to be contacting the front office and saying,
but I think to your point, when we looked at it, we're like, we got 4 years of cheap Denny here.
Right.
It's going to be 2 years of cheap Denny here.
Yeah. And we'll see what happens this summer. I had somebody ask me this weekend if I would pay him over $30 million, and I said, absolutely not.
And you're going to have to, though. Is he going to sign a contract for less than $30 million a year? What did Shaden just end up getting per year?
4 for 90, right?
Was that what it was?
I think it's 4 for 90. So Swag, the finance guy,
Swag, 4 for 90 is
$22.5 million a year.
If he's getting
average.
22.5,
yeah.
You
No,
know-
I mean, yeah.
yeah. So you have a similar concern that I do.
Well, my thing on Denny is, like, clearly Denny's taken a step. Denny's also shooting, like, what is it? Is it 6 or is it 7 more free throws a game?
Yeah. It's a pretty high number.
So if you're not going to get those calls in the playoffs, which I don't believe he'll get a lot of the calls he's getting in the regular season. I mean, we didn't play it, but Wemby was asked at the All-Star break, hey, what are you made of Denny's season? And he was like, well, I haven't really played against him this year, but just don't foul him.
He's averaging about 5 more free throws more this year than he did
5 more
last
free
year.
throws per game. So, look, he's having a great he's a weird player to evaluate because I don't watch Denny Avdia and go, oh, man, his bag's deep. It's body into body, foul, free throws.
Yeah. And is that that's where my fear comes in because
he's a good piece to have.
Without a doubt.
I haven't changed my stance on him.
Yeah.
I know a lot of people around here have. Some take him over Devin Booker. But I think if you're a title or you're hopeful to win a title, I think he's a 3. And then I have my concerns or questions about him off ball. His usage rate is 100. He's in the top percentile of it.
The reason it was that because he didn't have any point guards, and that's why he was going to the free throw line and handling the ball so
And
much.
I've seen him play off ball. Look, the All-Star game's not a measurement, right? But
no.
I just kind of wonder what's his top end ceiling impact. I guess I would ask you or anybody else out there when he doesn't have the ball for the 100 percentile usage rate.
Because he's not an elite defender. He's a fine shooter, but he's not a standout, knock him down 3-point shooter.
He's not a dribble, step back, awesome. Like
No.
his moves are not necessarily stellar. And I'm not saying he can't shoot. He can shoot.
Right.
He's a weird play to evaluate, and it's very interesting talking to Blazer fans like in and around my life because you get a couple that are like, he's obviously a building block.
Yes.
He's a piece.
Yes, nobody denies that.
But I hear from other Blazer fans, and I'm not saying it's the representative norm, that are like, we giving that guy the $100 and blank million contract?
Is there a comp out there for a player like him who wasn't all NBA that got an extension? Has Banchero been all NBA?
Oh, I don't know off the top of my head. Yeah, tell me with that.
Gordon been all NBA with the Nuggets?
I don't think
believe
so.
Aaron Gordon has
because he's clearly the number 3 guy.
So Paolo signed a 5-year. Has he signed his extension or is he going to sign his extension?
I think him and Franz both signed. They both got $200
5-year,
million
$240
deals.
deal.
Right.
And you're looking at a $41 million cap at 44, 48, 51, 54 player option in the last
Like, what's
year.
the number for you guys? Maybe 30's too
There's
low,
a number
but,
in
like,
there.
What's the number?
I think 30 might be a little too low if
Sure.
you're telling me if that's what you're getting for Banchero.
I
know
hear
he
you.
was the number 1 overall pick. But I'm not going to go that much. Like anything north of $35 million a year. Because I think the problem then becomes, and this was the issue that I had at the time with the trade, and look, this might age terribly. Maybe Orlando gets hot and they win a title. Banchero's numbers have dropped significantly this year.
He's not the most efficient player in the league.
He's not a great shooter, and so he's a big body that can get to the free throw line, but he's not a dynamic shooter, and so it's like, this kind of sounds familiar.
Well, have you changed your stance on Denny? Because a lot of people were backtracking when he became the all-star
When
Denny.
he was having that run early in the season. I don't think I ever went fully into he can be a number 1 option. I think I changed my mind that maybe I said last year he's a number 3, and then I changed my mind he could be a number 2. But like the problem with Orlando, what's the pivot if you're Orlando? Because you just use 5 first-round picks.
Well,
So
you trade Franz or Paolo.
So then that's your next pivot, right? You got to trade
That's
one of
your
your big
pivot.
contract
If you
guys.
pivot.
If you pivot, and then
If
you got to
you
go
pivot.
find another big contract guy to make the salaries match. And then is that guy the player that's going to actually put you over? Is he better than Wagner? Is he better than Paolo? So it's just like we're going into an offseason where a lot of Blazer fans are going to tout the excitement level over the future assets that we have. And that's the big call. Like, look how clean our books are and look how many assets we have to play with.
Right.
And the retort I have to that is you are right and you are right. Number one, what's Denny going to sign for him? What does that do to your future books? How much of that cap space is it going to eat up? And 2, we don't know what those assets are going to look like. And I brought this up at the deadline of like they're a commodity right now. If Milwaukee lands a number 1 overall pick, they're no longer a commodity because they're going to be good likely in 3 to 4 years when those things start hitting. And so if you are to make a move, are you building around a player that you can't build around? When you look in the Western Conference of Anthony Edwards in Minnesota, and Jokic in Denver, and SGA in OKC, and you go up and down the list of teams in the West, Luka in LA, who I certainly know he has issues with his own head coach, of where do you fall into the mix of those teams building in the West, and how does Denny rate with those other number 1 options?
So I'm looking here. I'm trying to find out. I'm just kind of curious looking up because we had the one thing on the pick protection swap stuff,
Yes.
remember? And we ended up
being right, but wrong, but then right.
Yeah, we had to. So I'm trying to find out, like, eligibility-wise with an extension.
Okay, well, let's see if we can find some of that in the.
But I am still think it's a huge.
It's $1 million question we got to
because you're building blocks this year. The clear takeaway of the season for me, I don't know what their win-loss total will be. They'll be in the play-in because, the back end of the West. Let's say you don't have to pay him. Your 3 building blocks clearly are going to be for this organization, not counting Dame, 2, Denny, Donovan.
Yes.
Everything else outside of Damian Lillard,
expendable.
I think people will take phone calls.
I agree.
That's my takeaway right now. I have no reason to believe otherwise. The minutes for Scoot are shameful, and Shaden's got hurting again.
Yeah.
And people aren't even convinced that he's consistent enough,
even when healthy,
to trust.
Yeah.
Now, what is Denny? Is he a 2? Is he a 3? I in no way believe he is a 1.
No.
If that's your 1, I don't believe you will ever be in title contention.
You're barking up the wrong tree.
But clearly has played enough and to a level where when he does get the extension, there might be some really uncomfortable conversations of what is the number. I don't know if the organization's going to have those. It's going to probably be more fan media centric because the organization might just be like, "You're a really good player. We're going to keep you.
You're an All-NBA guy. We're going to pay you.
Here's a huge contract, right? And nothing to think of. But for us, covering, talking, watching, yeah, man, there's going to be a number with that eligible the extension when he's eligible of what is that number to make you go, ooh. Because I think Franz, if you're to look at Orlando and say they fizzle out as a 7-8 seed, I think Orlando is going to pivot.
You're going to have to.
I think Franz and Paolo are
traded 5 first-round picks and knock it out of the first round.
There's a little oil water there.
Yeah.
They're very similar in a lot of ways, and I don't know if they make the most sense. Desmond Bane's fine. I think Desmond Bane's a good player. You probably did give up way too much capital, but you're probably going to have to address the
other elephant
Franz
in the room.
and Paolo Banchero thing.
So where are you at on this one? Am I right? Are you kind of with me and Sprague in the thinking? Are we crazy? I'm just curious. I just was watching that Orlando-Detroit game yesterday and saw the final, and I'm like, God, it hasn't gone really well. Are we about to make the same mistake and build around the guy who's not a number 1 option? We'll read some comments and wrap up that. We'll get back into the NFL. Some trades going down today coming up at 8:45. We're back after this, but first your Swag with Sports Center.
Now, from the George McCoy and Warren Allen Sports Desk, a Sports Center update on the Fan Sports Network, 105.1 FM and 1080 AM.
Brought to you by Mountaintop Metal Roofing. No maintenance, energy efficient, fire resistant, and a lifetime warranty. Do it once, do it right. Visit mountaintopmetalroofing.com. First on the Fan. Blazers with a rough weekend on the Atlantic Seaboard, dropping games to Charlotte and Atlanta. The Hawks blew them out Sunday, 135-101. Onyeka Okongwu led 6 Hawks in double figures with 25 points to go with 10 boards. Portland now moves to Memphis. They will take on the Grizzlies Wednesday. NFL Combine wrapped up over the weekend. Some Ducks putting on some eye-popping performances. Kenyon Sadiq broke the all-time tight end record in the 40-yard dash with a 4.39. Safety Dylan Thieneman turning heads with a 4.35 40 that many believe helped secure him a first-round selection. Also from the NFL, multiple reports now indicating the Lions have agreed to trade running back David Montgomery to the Houston Texans for a 4th-round pick, offensive lineman Juice Scruggs, and a 7th-round pick as well. None of that can be confirmed until the new league starts March 11th. More sports scores and stories in 30 minutes. Jason Swigard from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk. Hurt and missing work, insurance companies acting like jerks. Don't call your mom. Call George McCoy at warrenallen.com.
Recruiting with 680 AM.
All right. Read a couple thoughts.
Got some information, by the way.
Okay, on potential contract extensions, what are we hearing?
I was reading the Rose Garden report.
Yes.
And could do, but would only get 3 versus both sides wait 1 year.
So Denny could get an extension this offseason, but he could only get 3 years?
I don't believe there's anything that says they can't.
NBA contracts don't make any sense to me. I don't understand.
I'm always pretty honest and upfront.
Shane's got a poison pill. He can't get traded to.
Yeah,
all right, what? What are we doing here?
I just try to follow smart people on this stuff because I don't really want to
Sean
learn about
Highkin.
salary cap stuff.
He'll educate you.
And he says makes more sense for them next year because next year if they do an extension, you get a full 4 years versus 3.
Okay. So a couple thoughts that came in here. I enjoyed this one. Is SGA a number one option because Denny is Timu SGA? Yes, SGA, the MVP of the league and NBA champion from a year ago.
Can I ask you
is
this?
the number one option.
So this is my other thing, and it kind of is a rebuttal to myself and other people maybe. So like you ask about Orlando and us with Denny, like it's not that you don't want a Jokic or fill in a Wemby, right? You do. Like, is it a requirement to win a title? Is it a clear cut? You have to have the number one, or is like SGA to you the absolute, or is the team just absolutely loaded?
I mean, there's a combination of both.
Because he is an amazing basketball. I'm not trying to diminish SGA here.
Yeah.
I'm just asking, like, how much more important it is in this league with this amount of depth.
Sure.
To say, yeah, we have a 1, but we also have 1 through 9.
Yeah.
Because Jokic is in Denver. Is Jokic and the Nuggets winning a title if Aaron Gordon doesn't play?
Probably not. There's not enough else around him.
Settled. You want the Jokic.
And they have a championship, so they've
it.
done it, and they've had at times where they've had enough pieces around him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't mean it's an end-all, be-all, that if you have the guy, you're going to win a title every year or compete for a title every year, because I don't think Denver's going to win one, to your point, and they couldn't get out of the second round of the playoffs last year.
Because you can still build a very good basketball team,
yes,
is my
you can.
point, without saying we have a clear 1. We don't have a 1. In my opinion, we don't.
Sure. I just think it's more of a combination of the two things. Like somebody texting in, classic Blazer fan, don't want to pay the 4th guy to make the All-Star team since 2003. And I certainly understand that argument. Neither of us know which direction this is going to go, and I'm certainly not trying to say anything concrete. I'm just asking questions aloud because the last couple of weeks have broken me, man. Like this weekend was terrible. It's a 5th straight year of not having any interest in how the team finishes, and I know what the Blazer media machine is going to tell me. They're going to spend all offseason telling me we found an all-star, we got our guy, we're going to build around him. But even in Joe Cronin's own words with the sit-down with Willamette Week, what did he say about building around Denny? He said, right now we're building around Denny.
He said he's our guy for now.
For now, which tells me that he's the only all-star on the team, so of course he's your guy right now, but I think even they are asking that question. And when you hit the combination of his style of play and what does it look like year in and year out in the league, because it's one thing if you have you're a dynamite shooter. I'm not saying Steph Curry is a bad example because there's only one Steph Curry, but like if there's something that you can do that you can lean on year in and year out that's not going to go away, I know that you're not going to fall off. If you're physically so impressive and dominant, you're not going to go anywhere. You're going to be a dominant piece. I think the Banchero point that I'm bringing up is last year, you know what his numbers were? They were, what seed were they in the playoffs? You remember 5, 6 somewhere? I mean, I think they lost in the first round, but they were a good team in the East, maybe even better than they were this year. His numbers were 26 points, 7.5 rebounds, and 5 assists.
Yeah.
This year he's averaging 21 a game. His rebounds have gone up slightly, and his assists have gone up slightly, but his field goal percentage and his three-point percentage have gone down, and he's averaging barely over 20 points per game.
They were exactly 500. They finished with the 7 seed.
The 7 seed, okay. Yeah. So they might end up in the exact same
where
spot.
They are. Except they're a little better. But.
The point is just simply being when you don't have a player who has a strength that they can lean on night in and night out other than getting to the free throw line, what do the numbers look like ebbs and flows wise? And when does the moment come where you pay him and you're breaking through that threshold of, the hot and the crazy scale that we do with ladies of like how much crazier you willing to put up with how hot you are? Where is the financial scale where you say that doesn't make sense for Denny? And somebody asking on the text line, are you arguing you would be for Denny being a piece in a trade for a swing at a possible number one player, even if it's not a guarantee? Like, I'm just saying every option.
Somebody asked if we would trade Denny for Paolo.
No, I don't think I would.
Okay.
I don't think I would because of the contract. I mean, we just went over this with Paolo. How is this any different? He's a good player. He's not a number one, and he's making
don't have a Franz.
He's making $40 million a year.
Part of the problem in Orlando is not just Paolo. Paolo's not the most high efficiency player.
But Wagner's been hurt this year. I get it.
Yeah, I mean they've been banged up, but like him and Wagner, if you watch them play when they're together, they have a little bit of the not sure how this works type vibe.
How is Damian Lillard and Denny Avdija going to fit together next year?
How's Damian Lillard and Scoot if Scoot's here? I think what's clear is like Denny probably is the point guard of choice for them.
So Damian Lillard's an off-ball guard. We brought him back
Yes.
to be an off-ball guard. Is he in the starting lineup, or is he coming off the bench?
I mean, I said from the get-go when they signed Dame, how is Dame Lillard coming off the bench in a Portland uniform outside of he's 40 and it's the end?
He's
right?
also not good defensively and never really has been, and so now we're putting him in the starting lineup. We're going to be worse defensively, and he's playing off the ball.
I mean, your takeaways this year are going to be your offense struggled and your defense actually slipped quite a bit.
Yeah.
So I don't know how you answer a lot of the questions that they're going to end up having other than Denny took a step forward. They're going to say Donovan did, and I think they're going to say Tamani, kind of did. I don't think he did, but I think they're going to say that.
Yeah.
So, again, the 3 plus Dame, I think everything else is you'd make a phone call to somebody, and they're on the other end going, well, what can we get for it?
I've come
And
to
by
the
way,
conclusion.
it's not don't pay Denny.
No.
Don't have that
That's
takeaway.
not the argument at all. Nobody's saying he's a bad player.
But you're not wrong in the – because I'm telling – people that I don't even always engage with on Blazers this is a conversation. What is the number when you go, yeah, he is our 4th Blazer to be an all-star since, whatever. But
that's also more of an indictment on us as a franchise than it is Denny Avdia being an all-star. That has more to do with the ineptitude of 2 decades than it does, hey, he's an all-star.
You can't say there's not a number. There has to
There's
be
a number. There's a number in there.
You pay Denny $45 million a year?
Yeah, I am of the opinion that we should always be preemptively thinking about how do we get the most out of certain stocks, if you will. And I think we have had a major problem as a franchise over the years of holding on to assets until they start depreciating in value. And we trade them too late. And I'm not arguing that Denny's going to fall off a cliff next year and he will no longer be a good player. It's just the idea of, is this a guy you can build a roster around? And if you think the answer is yes, then good for you. And maybe we'll see you end up being right, and you'll laugh in my face in 3 years when we're winning a title, and I'll say, thank God you were right.
Are we winning a title with him as a 1, though?
I don't think we are, and that's the ultimate goal. And so that's why I'm asking the question. I was curious. I saw that with Orlando over the weekend, and we'll see how it works out the rest of the way. Denny, we got to wait and see. It has been a bad year for them, and Denny's got to get back in the lineup to get that All-NBA kind of money. We'll get to some NFL trades that have gone down in the last 24 hours, some earlier this morning, some still coming across. Pass them along next on The Fan.
Big hits, big bets, big plays.
Today I'm laying the big wood.
This is the Layin' Wood Report, brought to you by Mr. Plywood, serving Portland for over 50 years.
San Antonio throws it away. Harper forced to pass inside. Read by Bridges will go coast to coast for a 2-hand slam. Timeout, Mitch Johnson. It's a game-high 18-point lead for the Knicks with 7 minutes to go.
That's 880 ESPN, New York Knicks radio. The Knicks beat the Spurs, who were red hot yesterday. Mikal Bridges laying wood. I'm a basketball commentator.
When I did see the final of this game, I thought, man, Wemby didn't play, huh? And then I saw he had 25 points, 13 rebounds, and 4 blocks. And I thought, all right, good little win for the Knicks there. Good little win.
Laying Wood Report brought to you by Mr. Plywood, serving Portland for over 60 years. Delivery, custom cutting, and special orders. Visit them at Southeast Stark Street or online at mrplywoodinc.com.
All right, we got a lot to get to in the final hour of the show. Hope your Mondays are off to a good start.
Something I'm going to watch.
Everybody hate me now? Am I despised again? I'm sure that one will show up on Blaze or Reddit.
With all the full context of the conversation,
Yes.
not
Your
just...
daddy sucks! Guys kind of know anything about basketball. How's he employed?
Something I'm going to watch, but I am telling you right now, just way less excited by the day because of the headlines.
Really? What is it?
Is anything hurting its own self more than the Baseball World Cup or World...
I mean, whatever.
The World Baseball Classic?
The World
the
Baseball
WBC.
Classic. Why? What's happening? Have I missed headlines?
Every headline. This player is expected to only play one time. This player is expected to only play 2 times. And I'm
I
just
thought
like,
I've only seen one of those, but I'm also
Skeens
not
is only
following.
going to start 2.
I thought Skeens said, "Give me the ball, I'm America,
he said
bitch."
he's only going to have 2 starts, and
Really?
Scooble's basically, I'm
Scooball
playing
said
once in a
one.
game that
Yeah.
doesn't matter.
Look, can I be honest with you here? Do you have anybody on any teams? I'm sure you do. Is Acuna playing?
I haven't checked the rosters out.
Okay,
to be honest
I
with
actually
you.
don't know. I don't know how many
I think
Giants
half
playing.
the Japanese team is Dodgers, but
Sure.
correct me if I'm wrong.
One of the pitchers on Team USA is the Giants' #1 starter, Logan Webb, and I certainly don't think the Giants are going to win a championship this year, but I'm excited for the start of baseball season as anybody.
A college manager.
I don't want him to play.
So this went from
Why would I want you throwing full go and the whole idea of being a starting pitcher
Didn't
is
we argue about this with hockey when they did their...
Look, they're
That was
completely
in the
different
middle of
things.
the
Don't we argue about
season,
the
though.
Ryder
Completely
Cup?
different
Like,
things.
aren't
No.
we supposed to care about these
Hold
things?
on. Challenge flag. Hold on. Don't you bring that nonsense into this
Ryder
no-fly
Cup
zone.
matters.
Ryder Cup does matter, damn it, because there's no risk of injury to a team and a franchise.
The hockey thing happened during the season.
It's happening in the middle of the year. Ask any starting pitcher about what they're doing right now. What are they doing right now?
Warming up.
They're ramping up to be able to
ramping
throw.
up. They're-
How many innings do guys throw in spring training when they're starting pitchers? 2?
They
Maybe.
hope to get to
Maybe
like
3?
5
Get
innings
to 5 by the
their
end
last
of
start.
spring training. Maybe you throw 5.
Back
Back
That's
in my
it.
day, they
by
used to
their
throw
last
8
start.
every time. They'd throw 130 pitches.
Like for all the position, you want to be a position player that plays. By all means, go play. I don't care. I'm not worried about you blowing out your elbow playing second base. There's of course a chance you could get hurt, but that's very rare.
Hitters need at bats. They
You need at bats.
Yeah.
I'm all for that. It's about top level starting pitchers are not ready right now.
I thought we're trying to win the world.
Relievers,
I mean,
I want
sure.
to put a
As
reliever
long as
in
it
a
doesn't
high
come with
leverage
ruining my
situation.
baseball
That's
season.
great. Yeah, the only concern is starting pitchers and overdoing it.
Yeah, that's like
Because the last one ended in such a historic
Yeah.
It did?
sports fashion.
And
it was
could still end
Otani
that
Trout.
way.
Yeah, it was
Japan,
Ohtani,
USA.
Trout,
and he
yes.
struck him out.
And I just feel like when I see a headline, I'm like, that guy, he's dropping?
God, come on.
Are we trying to... Well, we kind of are in a political sense, but
Sure.
like sports-wise...
We're trying to dominate the world.
Well, everybody's like, hey, the
USA.
World Baseball Classic had a moment. I can't wait for the next one. The next one gets here. It's like, I'm going to play one game. That's not going to matter. And then a guy you've never heard of is going to throw for us, and we'll see what happens.
Remember at the last one, too, Edwin Diaz, now a Dodger. Remember he tore his ACL or he did something celebrating?
That's what I'm saying. You're cool with a batter doing it. What if they get hurt?
Yeah, the celebrating one, I mean, that's a Martin Gramatica. Like, that's very, very rare. It's more of just the idea of, like, how do you use starting pitchers, and are you okay with your #1 ace going out there and pushing his arm to a limit? Like, that's the outlier of all of this. Like, just playing sports competitively, I'm fine with. There's always the risk of getting injured. It's about if you have one tweak of your elbow, your season's gone.
Throw a knuckleball.
Still
Stop
changes.
throwing so hard.
Quit being a bitch, all right?
Well, I was excited, and then, I just feel like it's kind of losing its luster a little bit here.
Yeah, I mean, it starts this week, right? I think it starts Friday.
Yeah,
I think the
pool
first
play
game-
starts
pool
the
plays?
5th or 6th or something. I think
Okay.
the first official games are. They're going to start
I mean, I'll
playing
watch,
some
but-
exhibition games against some of the MLB spring training games here today, tomorrow, Wednesday.
So where you guys were at the end of the last one to where we're at where it's about to start this one, like how much has that changed in terms of your excitement?
I'll
for
get
it?
excited as it gets going.
Yeah.
It's one of those, like, wake me up once we're into the tournament. I'm not watching pool play.
I mean, there's
probably.
20 teams in it now, so you got like teams from like Great Britain and Italy and
Some of the stuff's happening internationally at 2 o'clock in the morning,
Yeah,
too,
and
because you're
I'm
playing
like,
in Tokyo.
okay.
Like, I'm out on that.
This says, I don't know if this is bad Google AI.
Yeah.
I'm trying to see if we're favored.
I'd imagine we're in the mix.
Yeah, we are favored, and then Japan's after us.
Really?
Yeah.
Over, like, the Dominican Republic?
Dominican is a -155. Us and Japan are both -1,000. We're to win. We're even money. Japan's +320.
Okay.
Then the Dominican. Then Puerto Rico.
Puerto Rico.
And then Venezuela, Mexico.
Okay. Now, Puerto Rico is American territory.
Mm-hmm.
Why can't we just take their players, too? They're technically Americans.
Their whole thing has been odd, too, of who's playing in that, not playing in that.
Yeah.
The insurance thing?
Yeah.
Bad Bunny was trying to cover it all.
Was he really?
Yeah, he was like, I'll pay for it.
Well,
Because he wants them to play.
Yeah, I mean, teams are just terrified of guys getting hurt, which
Then why don't we move this event? This could be a good event.
When do you play it, though? That's
They're
the
not
tough
going to
part.
play it. Baseball players are not going to give up their offseason.
No.
So the only
And
way
are you
going to
take a 2-3-week break in the middle of the season like the World Cup? Is it that big as the World Cup?
Well, I don't think it's – you're telling me it's not a Ryder Cup and it's
No,
not the
it's not,
hockey
no.
one.
Because how long has it been around? Like 10 years?
More than that, but they don't play it every year. It's like once every 3 or 4 years.
I feel like this started when we've been doing a show. Like in the time we've been doing a show.
I think you are correct because you used to bring it up and I'm like, what? And you're like, you're not going to
They started it and I'm like, hey, this is kind of fun that we're going to do international baseball.
I absolutely poo-pooed
So
it.
the first official game is tomorrow.
Okay.
The first World Baseball.
Wednesday at 7 p.m. Pacific, Taipei in Australia from Tokyo.
I don't know when you would play this other than this moment, but play somewhere where
Put a dome on it.
you play inside. You ain't got to worry about weather.
Well, they are playing in the Tokyo Dome.
They are.
Yeah.
A lot of domes.
Japan.
I think our first game's in Houston where the Astros play. It's a dome.
But play in like December.
I could dome it up. Yeah.
There's nothing. I mean,
Baseball players aren't going to give up.
You want guys to keep going? The baseball offseason is very short. You got November, December, January essentially.
Well, this
and you're
event's
back.
only what, every 3 years?
It's every 4, I think.
4?
Yeah. It's like the Olympics.
It's been 4 years since Ohtani struck out Trout.
Yeah, because they were still teammates at the time.
That's
and he's been a Dodger for 2 years now, right?
Yeah,
2
2.
years, 2 years. First one was in 2006.
Oh, 6.
That's
okay.
when the first World Baseball. So slightly before we
So
became
care
here.
about this, but don't really care about this is what you guys are basically telling all of the me's in the world.
Yeah.
Okay.
If we get a USA Dominican championship game and I get Adam Jones robbing a home run at Petco Park, cool moment. I'll be excited to watch it. Until then,
In 4 years. Coming up next, are you excited for this event like I am? Stirred Sprague.
I don't think I've done that one in a while. It's been a while for me.
You did have a couple years. I remember I was
trying
like,
to get into it. International. I'm a big fan of, to your point, international. Like Ryder
with
Cup
you.
is great.
Yes.
International hockey being back's awesome. You love the Team USA hoops. Like baseball's never really had that because it's always been college guys in the Olympics. And so first chance to see best on best. Never seen it before. So yeah, if you give me Ohtani versus I don't know who's the best American hitter in our lineup, Aaron Judge in a Japan USA game,
right?
And it's the championship. It's ninth inning, dude. Glued to my seat watching every second of it. If you give me like a,
but if they lose, you're not like, oh man, what a bummer.
If you give me a Japan Puerto Rico championship,
right?
It'll be on.
It'll be on.
It's on.
Right.
Background.
Okay.
Lots to get to in the final hour, including NFL trades, and get to those there. So some trades went down, including one team basically setting a flare-up saying, this is what we'll be doing with our 6th overall pick. We'll tell you who that is. Loaded final hour. Don't go anywhere. Dirt and Sprague, 105.1 FM The Fan.
Now, from the George McCoy and Warren Allen Sports Desk, a Sports Center update on the Fan Sports Network, 105.1 FM and 1080 AM.
Brought to you by Laurelhurst Market Steakhouse and Butcher Shop. Great spot for any occasion. Don't forget, you save 10% on your Butcher Shop order when you dine in. Menus and more at laurelhurstmarket.com. First on the Fan. Well, the Trailblazers were dead meat over the weekend. They lose Saturday morning in Charlotte and then get trounced by the Hawks 135-101 Sunday evening. Onyeka Okongwu led 6 Hawks in double figures with 25 points and 10 boards. Portland moves on to Memphis. They'll face the Grizzlies on Wednesday. Couple of trades getting prepared. These won't be official till the new league year starts March 11th, but multiple reports have the Lions sending running back David Montgomery to the Houston Texans in exchange for 4th and 7th round picks plus offensive lineman Juice Scruggs. Shane Lowry held a 3-shot lead with 3 holes to play at the Cognizant Classic. He double bogeyed 16 and 17 coming in. That allowed Nico Echeverria to win his 3rd PGA tournament of his career by 2 shots at 17 under par. More sports scores and stories in 30 minutes. Jason Swigard from the George McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk. Hurt and missing work insurance companies acting like jerks. Don't call your mom. Call George McCoy at warrenallen.com.
Your home for
Hey, let's do this. Final hour. Dirt and Sprague here, Portland Sports Leader, 105.1 FM, The Fan, 1080 AM, the Odyssey app, live on YouTube. Good morning, everybody.
Cat pervert.
Even to our cat perverts. Lots to get to in the final hour of the show. We all ready to spring ahead this weekend? Ready to lose an hour of sleep?
Sure, I don't get enough sleep as it is. Why not?
Might as well give me more sunlight in the day.
Good Lord.
That'll go well in Vegas over the weekend.
We are
too.
trending towards just I went for a walk, was it Saturday night? We walked up and got some ice cream. And, God, just having it till like 6+ at night, having just a hint of sunlight, delightful, man.
I've become the Debbie Downer of weather. And so my wife yesterday's like, God, it's nice. I'm like, it's too nice. This should not be happening.
Don't do that right now. Don't do that to me. Don't rain on my. Look, I know we're gonna burn down this summer. I get it.
There's a lot of rain coming this week.
There is, yeah. After today, it's gonna be a little wet.
The mountain looks more white though. So
Hey,
I don't know if our ski and snowboard brothers and sisters out there can report that it's at least accessible and you can get up there and do your thing, but
pile up that snow.
Yes, Mount Bachelor has gotten more snow. It's still below average, but it is.
We need that runoff, baby. Give me that good runoff this summer.
You can get up there and do what you need to do now on the mountain.
Give me that water. Lots to get to in the final hour. I'm going to throw maybe the most random thing I've ever thrown at you coming up in 10 minutes, but it is a question I wonder, what is the recourse if this happens to you? And so we'll get to that coming up in a moment. We had a couple NFL trades go down today. Ready? Catch fever.
Mm-hmm.
Earlier this morning, first thing I saw, this was like right out of the gate, waking up. All right, what's going on in the sports world? And the Texans traded their starting right tackle, Titus Howard, to the Cleveland Browns. Now, this was an interesting one for a couple of reasons, because the Houston Texans, notably not very good on the offensive line, and he's a pretty good player as their right tackle, and they traded him away. And then you read into, well, what's going on? Well, he wanted a new deal. They didn't have the ability to give it to him because they, one, are going to have to pay Will Anderson a lot of money. He's one of the best defensive linemen in the league. And two, C.J. Stroud, franchise quarterback C.J. Stroud, according to the Houston Texans, is going to be up for making about $50 million a year from now, so go ahead and pay him that money. So they wanted to get out of the idea of giving him an extension. They got a 5th-round pick from Cleveland for this. And I think we know who the number 1 pick in the draft will be. Number 1 pick in the draft will be Fernando Mendoza. Let's go ahead and write down in Sharpie, number 6 overall pick, Houston Texans, offensive lineman, whichever one they want to take.
Well, there's no doubt they need to improve that area, right? If you think Stroud's regressed just on his own accord, that's totally fine to have the opinion. His line has also been horrendous.
Horrible.
So
and this guy wasn't even one of the weaknesses. He was their starting right tackle.
No.
He wasn't dominant.
Well, I know, but that entire group kind of took it on the chin all the year, and then Stroud didn't play very well. But, the Stroud one, it continues to be a kind of monitor because the GM, Caserio, keeps saying he's our franchise guy. I saw a clip where he was talking with Rich Eisen Friday, and Eisen brought up the Stroud noise, and he basically was like, yeah, I think it's ridiculous. It's a little too loud. He's our quarterback for 2026. He keeps like putting a date on it.
2026. Why are we saying
he's our
2026?
quarterback for 2026?
He's our quarterback into the future. He's our franchise quarterback.
There's
That's
just
all you
other
need to
ways
say.
of messaging you can have with this stuff, and I know that he's kind of saying he's the franchise guy, and he very well gets the contract. But I'm also wondering, the back of my mind, is he giving us a date because this potentially is the first a team saying, actually, no. And we'll have to wait to see what his season's going to be. If he has a great season, he's going to get paid.
I think Baker was one of those, right? He didn't get the deal as a first-round pick.
Went to the playoffs, and the next year was the year of expectation, and he hurt his shoulder, played through the injury because he was afraid the team
I'm just saying,
wouldn't
like
pay
a
him.
guy who wasn't like it's one thing to be a total flameout, right? Like a Darnold was not.
You mean
getting
a
deal.
questionable?
Like,
is he truly the guy?
Like he went to the playoffs, he won a playoff game. Are we going to give? And then they decided no, and it's aged horribly for them.
Yeah, right now I think it's Baker. Because
I think he's the only one, right? I'm trying to think of another guy who didn't get the deal. Who was? It's one thing to be terrible and not get the deal. I'm not saying flame out and be a bust.
No, I get what you're saying.
Yeah, like how many of those examples do we have? Because I think to your point, it might be the second one we've ever seen.
Lamar.
They did make.
They gave Lamar the money, but they almost traded him. They offered him out.
They tagged him for what? 1 year in a row? One tag or 2 tags? Did you get 2 tags?
I thought it was just the one.
Just
but remember,
one
they
tag?
were offering up. They
Yeah.
wanted 3 firsts, and teams were like, "No, we're not giving you 3 firsts for him." And I'm like, "God, you idiots!"
Has your quarterback play been Atlanta?
Other than that, I can't think
It's
of
a pretty
one.
small list, so maybe this is the new trend. To your point,
'Cause-
that Houston starts continuing it.
Miami paid Tua.
Yep.
Arizona paid Kyler.
Yep. And those are guys who I would argue were borderline. Are you sure you want to do this?
I think I mean, I made the argument
Goff
for
got
Tua.
the deal in L.A. Now he
Yeah.
went to a Super Bowl.
Yeah, he got.
So
to a
that's
Super
not
Bowl.
even a fair
And
comp.
he's been good in Detroit for the most part.
No doubt. It didn't end well for him in L.A., but got him to a Super Bowl.
Yeah, when you talk about guys getting paid, and I know there's different levels of structure contracting, but yeah, man, this is just an interesting one that I'm keeping a close eye on. I'm not a Texans fan. They're not the most relevant team in the NFL. But the way he's talking about that, paired with they're clearly revamping the offensive line, that's going to be a big priority for them, along with paying their defensive studs.
Yeah.
If he has a similar season to last year, not necessarily the AFC.
Sure, you don't have to be horrible in the playoffs, but you're 20
Yeah.
touchdowns, 12 picks, and you're like,
I don't know where they're going to be on that. And I think it's one thing to say something today. It's another to say it at this point next year if the numbers are similar.
Well, it wasn't the only trade the Texans made today. They also acquired David Montgomery in a deal with the Lions, I should say. Traded away another offensive lineman, Juice Scruggs, all-time name team, and 2 draft picks. It is a 2026 4th-round pick, so a 4th-round pick, and next month's drafted a 2027 7th-round pick. I don't know much about Juice Scruggs. Never really heard the name before, but 1 mid and 1 late-round pick, and they go get a weapon to help their offense a little bit. And David Montgomery, who's been a good player. I mean, even last year, he's not the focal guy in Detroit anymore. He's been there now for 3 years, by the way, over 1,000 yards in year 1. Gibbs coming in kind of changed the landscape of that position. He's been so good for them and so dynamic in multiple ways. He's still averaging over 4 yards a carry. He's had 20 total touchdowns in the last 2 years.
Right.
In his 3 years in Detroit, he had 33 rushing touchdowns. So the numbers are still there for Montgomery, and they clearly need some help running the football in Houston.
I think with Houston, they took the role on Mixon, and it worked out for the one season.
Yep.
Not so much last year. The Detroit one, this is going to sound kind of ridiculous. David Montgomery's he's a good NFL player.
Let's go back.
I'm going to kind of miss the Montgomery-Gibbs little brief run we had there in Detroit.
Thunder lightning, it felt like at times.
He's a name that when you talk about Detroit kind of coming back to the conversation or being in the conversation for the first time almost ever, like he's going to be one of those names that's connected to that era. I also wonder if this is a lot of Detroit moving ahead of something that might be happening, and that's Montgomery
downside.
Gibbs just having such a monster year last year.
Still early in his career, too, where he's,
Yeah.
Gibbs, that is.
Yes,
where
Gibbs has plenty of
you're
time.
riding the escalator up and one's taking the escalator
Yes.
down. Get a couple of picks out of it, get out of a contract, save some cap space. So that's the other trade that went down this weekend. I did chuckle at this. Maybe Swag got some PTSD over the headline. Did you see who said he's ready to spend big in free agency? Ready? I got my pocketbook is
He's
open,
going to
Brandon.
circumcise the mosquito.
I'm ready to spend all the money in the world, and it's Jerry
That's
Jones.
your
came
Jerry
out.
Jones impression?
Yeah, it's horrible. I know. Said, quote, I really can't accept just the thought of winning one Super Bowl and then what? I've got more time on my clock than that in my mind.
Dude, he said he's trying to chase Robert Kraft before he's done.
I mean, he's got a long ways to go, dude. He's a spring chicken. Okay?
What's Kraft have? Does Kraft have 6?
He's got 6.
And Jerry's got
6.
3.
He's only got 3.
6, and he's
only got 3.
Only 3. He's halfway. He's already halfway
He's
there.
halfway to the battle.
One more 3, Pete. You're right there. You're tied up. That's all it needs.
Well, Dan Orlovsky will tell you, the Dallas Cowboys, legit contender next year in the NFL.
Jerry said, I would bet that we spend more in free agency than we have in years past. Here they come. I do declare.
I think fans hear this now and they get almost outraged.
Is any
by it.
Cowboy
Just
fan
stop.
you cannot tell me that there's a Cowboy fan alive that is naive enough to believe what comes out of this man's mouth, right? Are there any of them left after 30 years of being beaten over the head with it?
I think the
no
most
way.
genuine thing he said was on the show Landman. Working with his children. I think
the
it's
best
the
thing
most
he's done this
genuinely
century.
honest thing he said.
The only successful thing he's done in
Where
the last
fans felt his words and like, I
25
believe you. This is why Steven's a part of the organization.
Down in my
Whereas
loins, I'm working with my kid.
every year
Got my
it's
kid.
we're gonna spend money and we're gonna pay this guy and we're gonna have to reevaluate. And it's like, you pay that guy. They traded Micah Parsons.
They're also they're essentially going to have to they're already, I think, over the salary cap.
Oh yeah, they're going to have
projected.
to restructure.
They're going to have to restructure Dak, restructure CeeDee Lamb,
some
Tyler
dudes.
Smith. They think they can create money doing that, but it's not like some of these teams are going into the year with genuinely a lot to
franchising
spend.
Pickens, and we'll
Yes.
see if they sign him to a long-term deal before July or whenever you have to either sign the franchise deal or extend him.
You guys make of the Orlovsky Cowboy thing? Is that just a way to get the Cowboys in the headlines, or do you think he believes that?
I mean, look, they certainly have not been the worst franchise in the league. They've been hovering around a playoff team they've been the same team for a decade straight. Some years a little bit better than
It's
others.
not like they're devoid of talent.
They're not the New
No.
York Jets. Like, it's
No,
not
I
the most
know.
impossible thing to say that the Cowboys.
But they're either 7-10 or 10-7.
Right.
Yeah.
And so can they go what's the missing link for them? Can they find the missing link? And do they have the head coach that can identify the missing link?
He got a good grade on the report card, that coach.
I mean, based on the idea that the Seahawks just went from you're not a playoff team to, oh my God, you won the Super Bowl, and the Patriots just went from one of the worst teams in the league to you got to the Super Bowl. I can't say no. It's impossible.
This runs for a lot of teams.
It happens, and but yeah, I'm still going to laugh at the notion because eventually somebody will be right.
Yeah.
And they're going to get to tout being right.
Agree.
And we're all going to forget that for the last 30 years, that same take about the Cowboys has been out there. Every year. This is a year. How about them boys? How about them boys?
It just feels like it's hey guys, we should put it in the headlines. It's been a minute.
We haven't talked about the Cowboys enough lately. Let's get Dan Orlovsky saying something and Jerry Jones saying I'm going to spend a lot of money.
I used to be the sports fan that fell for it. Like I would engage or I'd watch. Yeah, and now I see it, I just kind of chuckle and I move on. Yeah. Not even interested in it that
They're ready
much.
to spend big, baby. Got that money. Jared does down in Dallas. Here come the Cowboys. How about them Cowboys? I'm going to throw something totally off the beaten path at you coming up next, but it is. I'm just I've been so shocked that this was even allowed to happen.
Mm-hmm.
And what is the recourse if it happens to you? We'll get to that next on The Fam.
When the tournament moment calls for bold, break your beak. Beak Breaker IPA from Pelican Brewing. Enough to break your beak, not your bracket.
Mikey Lewis, he's been the offensive star. Step back, 3, good! I mean, the crossover to create space, and he steps back and drills it.
Dave Fleming and Sean Farnham on the call for ESPN. You know, St. Mary's beat Gonzaga this weekend by 11.
that.
The largest against the Zags since the 2019 WCC tournament title game. I believe I read they've now won 3 straight regular season WCC titles. Am I right on that?
They've had a share of
share.
4 in a row.
Tied with the Zags right now.
Last chance for getting them because the Zags are leaving? Look at that.
Talk about a bracket buster. Hello,
Gonzaga?
St. Mary's. The Fighting Gaffneys. Huh?
Few's got to get out of there.
Projected to be an 8 seed in the tournament.
Few's got to get out of there. Bring Few to Eugene. He's got to get out of there. It's crumbling ship. Beavers are going to dominate them in the Pac-12. Bracket Buster Report brought to you by Beak Breaker IPA from Pelican Brewing, packed with citrus hops, killer aroma, and a smooth finish. Beak Breaker, enough to break your beak, not your bracket.
FM and 1080 AM.
All right, coming up bottom of the hour, does the glove fit?
What?
See what I did there?
Thought the USA men's and women's players did a good job of like ending the quote-unquote drama and noise this weekend on SNL.
They were on, wasn't the guy from Rivalry on?
Heated
Rivalry. Look at that, the blending of hockey.
Well, the
worlds,
women were out, and then Hughes showed up, and she's like, we had to invite the men.
Yeah.
And then they all laughed about it.
They did. They said, some teams haven't won a gold medal in 46 years. We won 2 whole Olympics ago. This is completely random, and I apologize for the randomness of it, but I saw it this weekend, and I could not stop thinking about it.
Sure.
And I'm wondering, how would you handle this scenario?
Okay.
And what is the reaction? Evidently, this weekend, we have something called the United States Half Marathon Championships. Did you know that those existed?
I think I saw this story, but I don't think I read it.
Okay. Well, then allow me to elaborate and
Look
to
at
inform you.
informing me on a running story and not the other way around.
I'm big into running over here. You know me.
Do you have a tattoo?
Oh, no, it's kiddo's into tattoos. It's temporary mouse on my hand.
Okay. I've been wondering this whole show. I'm like, did you get a wrist tattoo and you just didn't say anything?
It's really funny now.
I'm not anti-wrist tattoo.
I would not get a tattoo right there. I just wasn't sure where to put it, where he could see it, where it wasn't that visible, because I didn't want it.
It looks like a wrist tattoo.
It looks like, I know.
When you're at least 3 feet or more away.
He's super into fake tattoos right now. He's a tattoo, like really into tattoos. And so every time it washes off, we then do a new tattoo.
Did you introduce him to Cracker Jacks or something with the fake tattoos?
No, Grandma got one of those that you put the washcloth on the hand and they come off. I thought about doing one on my forehead just to freak my wife out when she came home from work and then not say anything, and then decided against that. She might yell at me about that one.
Well, I just want to make sure when you get a tattoo, if you ever do, you tell me about it.
I will tell you.
I need to know.
I will alert you.
Okay.
I will fully alert you.
You don't got to do the meringue arm sleeve thing.
I don't want to do the meringue thing. Let me do the meringue thing.
Is that where you would get a tattoo?
I don't know where I would get a tattoo. I do want to get a tattoo. I'm not anti-tattoo.
Yeah.
I'll get one at some point.
Okay.
I also love the idea of running. Like there's a store in Selwood where I go buy sneakers occasionally whenever I need a new pair of shoes. I don't buy a lot of shoes. It's like one pair a year, one pair every 2 years. Like, all right, these ones are a little worn down. Let's go buy them. But it's more of a running-centric store. And every time I go in to buy a new pair of shoes, they're asking me like running questions.
And you were like, I just
like, dude, I just want to play our black Nikes. Those look good. Can I I got your split time. It's like, kind of bounce do you like in your shoes?
Sure.
So the U.S. Half Marathon Championship are happening this weekend, and there was a gal by the name of Jess McLean running in the U.S. Half Marathon Championships.
Mm-hmm.
Evidently, she's a big deal in the half marathon world. She is flying through this course, okay? Mm-hmm. Flying through that. Now, was it 13 miles? Half marathon?
13.1 miles.
13.1 miles. Flying through. She is 1 mile away from the finish line.
Okay.
12.1 miles in. Look at that.
There you go.
She's going to win the championship. It's going to happen. She's like beloved in the community. Here we go. Unfortunately, with 1 mile to go in the race, she is like significantly ahead of everybody else.
This, I know how it ends.
Around that moment, they have the lead car, right? There's that car that's driving in front to, track the course, and you're following the lead car, right? The lead car made a wrong turn off of the track.
Took her the wrong way.
And on the broadcast, somebody said you could see the flaggers that were like, trying to alert. She's doing what any athlete, she's following the official lead car, and she's the lead runner, and everybody's a mile behind her, essentially.
Yep.
The top three or the other two behind her, ended up following her with all spots on all of them had U.S. Spots on the World Championship team, National Championship podium, all that. Big prize money bonus. They're going to win. And the fourth place finisher, or should have been fourth place finisher, ended up finishing first because they had to route back around and come back to the course. And by the time they did, somebody else had already won the race. What is the protocol here if this happens to you?
I think in a lot of ways people get way too carried away with, filing lawsuits and claiming it's a chicken nugget, not a boneless wing.
Yeah.
Let me see what the payout is.
I'm filing. It's not just about the payout. This is about, you said it's the World Championship?
It's the Half Marathon United
Championship.
She may be able to qualify for this and win it again, but I am filing a lawsuit. Something's happening here. I'm not doing anything. You led me the wrong way.
Lead prize was $28,000 for winning the race.
In the running world, that's good money.
For winning a race, $28K?
Well, most of her money's probably made from sponsorships anyway. But yeah, $28K in that world.
I would file a lawsuit immediately.
Give me my money.
I want my money. Especially with 1 mile to go. It's one thing if there's 4 runners and you're all neck to neck.
How far away is she than the pack?
According to my reading of it,
was she gonna clearly win
it? It was a foregone conclusion.
Damn.
There was no way she could lose the race with 1 mile to go. And the car just took a wrong turn. How do you even let that happen? This is the national championships. How do you not know? How is the entire thing not barricaded off for 13 miles?
I don't know.
What are we doing here?
I saw the story. I didn't read the whole thing, and it was
I thought of it like runners, because you and Dave love talking about running, and I'm like, you imagine on the Hood to Coast, you're following some lead car, and they lead you off of the path, and you're like, wait a minute, where am I right now?
What about the Tour de France?
Right.
All of a sudden, they're like, now most of the mountains, there's only one road, so you can't get lost. But
where the hell is that guy going?
The farthest I've ever run. It happened on accident, actually, and it's kind of like this. So
you just got lost?
Yeah, so one of our great sales extraordinaires, Dave Kingsella.
Dave Kingsella, big runner
he does these hash runs.
So you smoking hash?
Excuse me?
What are they?
I mean,
Is that what they're doing?
I'm not like I didn't smoke hash during the run.
I mean, I know it's
did.
Portland.
So you smoke hash and then go for a run?
I literally lost my weed pin on one of these things. Anyways, this was a long time ago. So we're going on these runs. So what they do is they have a runner designated that has like a chalk, Major League Baseball bump.
Okay.
Ball.
Yeah. Rosin bag.
A rosin bag. Thank you. That person starts ahead of the group. The group is at a pub somewhere, meeting up and talking. That person is marking. It's supposed to be a 5K. 3.1 miles.
How many times do you mark?
Well, you got to mark it so people follow your path.
Yeah, and
because
every
you're leading
certain amount
them
of
in a
times.
unique way, right?
Right.
He tells me to do this one. It's probably my third time doing it with him. We go on the run. We're running up. We're in the back hills by OHSU running, okay? I am losing the chalk markings now. And I'm not finding them. I'm looking on the ground. I'm not seeing them. I did so much running where I ran down the wrong road. And then I'd hear Dave in the back because, I'm ahead of Dave. I'm faster.
You dusted him.
Hey, Brandon, you're lost. And I'm like, what? So I turn around. I did so much lost running that I
To
look
get
at
back
my watch,
on the trail.
To get back on the trail that by the time we finish at the park, I look at my watch. I ran 10.1
And it was supposed to be how many miles?
3.1. It's the farthest distance I've ever run. I was in no way prepared to run 10. I ended up hurting my foot for like a month after that.
Yeah, you weren't ready for a 10-mile run. It's a little bit different than 3.
Just terrible. And I just
3's
went
a
off.
walk in the park.
Dude, I ranted. I'm like, where were the markings? They were not clear. And I ended up being the only one wrong, so I was clearly in the wrong.
You needed a lead car.
On the hash run.
Set the pace, baby.
Yeah, it was terrible. I haven't done the event since. I'm not running 10.
I'm out on hash
I'm
runs.
an idiot.
I'm not running again.
What do you want from me?
Well, I think she should file a lawsuit.
Well, the bigger thing is if that's to qualify for the World
something else,
Championships, usually there's only a limited amount of spots for each country to go. That's the lawsuit over maybe getting your purse money back.
Yeah, to your point, the top 3 athletes who lost a few minutes didn't end up winning the race, and all spots on the U.S. team for the World Championships were on the line.
Yeah.
And a national
that's the bigger thing
championship
because
and the prize money.
You can't make anybody whole on that after the fact. Like if they're...
Is there not a way to go back? Like if
I don't know. The problem is most of the rules on these are pretty unforgiving.
We do this. How often in baseball do we get a game where it's like you file a protest? Now, you never change the outcome, but it happens once in a blue
moon. There's an administrative error that they can go back and correct. If
File
somebody batted out of order or something and they didn't catch it the first time.
How is this not something that you could file some sort of like?
Yeah, U.S. Track and Field Association needs to.
It's unfortunately one of those things that like it is what it is.
What do you
and
think
I'm sorry about that.
That guy driving the lead car is thinking right now? Oh, damn it.
He lost his chance of being a pace car driver in NASCAR.
You're out, dude. You're going to turn right. You're going to go right on the wall.
He's looking for
Let's
Southwest.
go left. What are you doing?
That's a nice little gig, by the way, being the pace car driver.
Exactly.
What a great gig. You just got to stay on track. You got one job to do. That's it.
Job to do.
And he could
Those
do it.
Corvettes, by the way, they go kind of fast on the pace car.
Do they?
They're humming around that track. They're not going whatever it is, 150 or whatever NASCARs go.
Yeah, but they're moving.
They're moving and grooving,
They're
man.
moving out there.
Well, yeah, because the cars to warm up need to get to a certain.
Exactly.
They're
What's the
going
warm-up
70, 80,
speed?
90. They got to get the tires warm and all that
I think
stuff.
it's in that 80 range.
You got to loosen up your treads.
Yeah.
And then I think they crank it up
Those
to they
tires
get
warm.
over 100 as they bringing them around for the green, warming them up.
All right, there you go. Well, that's totally random. I just saw it this weekend.
Yeah.
I thought of runners, and I'm like, God, how pissed would you be if that happened to you?
I would be so livid.
You lose it. You would lose your mind. Lose your mind.
With that on the line.
Hey, ladies and gentlemen, does the glove fit?
Oh.
Not this
Or
again.
must you acquit?
Next, but first, here's us with a update.
Now, from the George McCoy and Warren Allen Sports Desk, a Sports Center update on the Fan Sports Network, 105.1 FM and 1080 AM.
First on the Fan, congratulations. This is personal for me. Alistair Doherty, the pride of Union High School, at one time a former pupil of the late Harold Bluestein, for the first time in his career on the Korn Ferry Tour, won a tournament. He birdied the 72nd hole. He drove the 354-yard par 4 two-putt birdie. He wins for the first time. He's second on the Korn Ferry Tour points list. He is in line for the first time to get his PGA Tour card. This after being one putt 2 years ago in Q School from making the PGA Tour. Congratulations to Alistair Doherty.
That's great news for Harold and company. How about this one? There is a website called CloneKitty.com. And for a smooth $25K, that old furry friend of yours can be cloned. Indeed, cloning your pet. We've talked about this before. Was it Tom Brady?
Yeah, Tom Brady.
For
Cloned his dog.
$25,000 to $50,000, you can pay to clone your pet. Although they do advise on the website, it's not going to have the exact same personality.
Yeah, no S, man.
Go watch Pet Cemetery first.
We saw a new strategy in how to end a game in 3-on-3 hockey happen over the weekend. You know me, I don't think it's real hockey, so you got to get a little creative here. We just saw a gold medal decided in a 3-on-3 overtime. UConn and UMass were playing, two hockey powerhouses.
I saw this.
Top 20 in the country.
Okay.
The game is at UMass. You ready for this? UMass has a chance to win the game. It looks like they're going to win the game, but the puck doesn't go in the net. Oh, my God. What happened? UConn gets the puck, takes it the other direction. They got a 2-on-1 breakaway chance. Game over, right? Person in the building shuts the lights off. Just turns them off.
Yeah.
And they're like, what? Like, just building goes dark.
It was a UMass home game. I think they thought he
they
scored.
They thought UMass scored, and it was a delayed lighting.
Off the light show and the LEDs.
They were just like, ah. And then the lights come back on. The UConn guys standing there like, what the hell was that, man? That new strategy. If you think you're going to lose, just shut the lights off.
That's like the Cav-Piston game on Friday. The horn went off.
Yes,
for
the horn wouldn't stop playing.
They couldn't do anything.
More Corn Ferry Tour, animal cloning, and hockey stories in 30 minutes. Jason Swigart from the Georgia McCoy at Warren Allen Sports Desk. Heard missing work. Insurance companies acting like jerks. Don't call your mom. Call George McCoy at warrenallen.com.
The home of 1080 AM.
Well, I've certainly given up on the college basketball season. You told me earlier my team lost this weekend. I couldn't tell you.
Lost by 1 to the Wildcats.
Northwestern's a wagon, though, you know?
Yeah.
I am enjoying seeing the same college football conversations enter the college basketball lexicon, and that is that Miami, Ohio is having to defend themselves. They're undefeated, Miami, Ohio. Do you know that?
Yeah.
The Fighting Ben Roethlisbergers are 29-0 this year.
That'd be the Fighting Wally Zerbiak.
Those are the Fighting Wally Zerbiak.
Excuse you. Wally Zerbiak, more popular at Miami, Ohio than Ben Roethlisberger was.
Did they get to a Sweet 16
Yes.
with that team? Maybe in
Get
Elite
out of
Eight?
here.
I mean, Ben Roethlisberger was a top 10 pick at quarterback out of Miami, Ohio.
Wally Zerbiak was a top 5 player in college basketball his last year at Miami, Ohio. Sir.
Where was he drafted?
I think he was actually in
7th
that,
or 8th or
yeah, I think he's
something.
in that 7 to 11 range.
Hold on. Let me fact check this.
All-time good-looking cat, too.
All
Just
time.
genetically blessed.
6th overall pick in the
Dude,
draft.
6th overall
Where was Ben
pick.
take him?
Like 11th?
Was he 11?
I
11th
think.
overall pick? You nailed it. Look at you.
So why don't you
Yeah.
rewind and put the proper name on it? The Fighting Wally
You know,
Zerbiaks.
Miami, Ohio is 29-0. The Fighting Wally Zerbiaks are 29-0 this year. Can you believe it? It's
You
pretty
got
wild.
it. There you go.
And Bruce Pearl saying if you were in the Big East, you'd be in last place
Oh, Bruce Pearl, shove it up. The pearls don't shine.
because he's
buddy.
now doing
Now,
media appearances arguing that Auburn, who is below 6-10 in SEC
Who's
play,
coaching Auburn?
should be nobody related to Bruce Pearl, right?
Not his kid at all.
No,
no
there's no
way.
kid there. He had nothing to do with that.
All I want to see, you want to they don't need to expand the tournament. I think everybody's on board that. They're going to do it because they just want to, it's a money grab. Don't convince me there's deserving teams
They
being
already
left
expanded
out.
it. Oh, you know that, right?
Stop that. I only have one caveat. You have to be 500 or better in your conference. That's it. So,
Well, how hard's your conference? You know what I mean? You
well,
ever
no,
try
I
playing the
understand that.
SEC?
No,
Stop.
this is for the big 18-team power conferences.
Don't you trample on our big conferences? All right, you get out of here. I want the 17th place team in the Big Ten getting in because that's my team.
No.
Well-
then there's no point in having 31 conferences that can send people to the NCAA tournament.
We need 98 teams. That's what we need. Give me 98 teams in the tournament. How do you ruin a great thing? Google 98 teams.
There has to be value on winning games,
That's not the
not
only
just playing good against quality opponents.
not the only basketball news in the college world. And the notes over the weekend. Did you see the latest rumblings? By the way, the family of Wayne Tinkle not taking the firing very lightly.
Oh, I missed this over the
what-
weekend.
So they have taken to social media the kids. Where's
Yeah.
Trace playing? Is he playing anywhere? Is he in the
He's
league?
probably
Still over in
overseas.
Europe or
Overseas somewhere?
something?
Yeah,
And the
Trace,
daughters play too, right?
Jocelyn, yeah.
Yeah. So
I
they,
thought one of them started coaching.
maybe they did. I don't know. They were on social media this weekend,
He's a
and
grandpa now.
a social media finder of Beaver basketball somehow discovered, I guess in one of the recent games, they hit a 3 late to take the lead in the game because they've been playing better ball lately. They hit a 3 late, and in the camera shot that they showed on TV,
Is it Barnes rolling his eyes?
dude, the entire crowd, I'm not kidding you, the entire crowd is behind the Oregon State bench as the angle. They show literally everybody, they hit a 3 to go up by 1 with, I can't remember what game it was. I'm not watching Oregon State basketball.
Right.
And in the shot is Scott Barnes sitting there, and he doesn't move. And the kids have
because he knows
found that
he's going to do it.
because it was the 2 days before, and the kids are like, "Yeah, didn't make up his mind, huh?"
I'll tell you right now, if I ever was an AD, and I never will be, I don't understand the ADs that don't, to his credit, by the way, you don't have to like the guy. I loved seeing Bruce Pearl at a sporting event shirtless with the student section.
And the other, go to the
I would want to be that as an AD.
hanging
Why
around
am I
in the
not
crowd.
rooting on
Yeah.
the institution that I'm help running and trying to want success for?
I'd be that way as a coach of another team too. Like if I'm the football coach somewhere, I'm going to a basketball game once a year.
100%.
Take my shirt off, wave it around in the student
President of
section.
UP was there Saturday in the front row drinking a beer,
Let's
high-fiving
go.
everybody on
Yes.
senior
Let's
day.
go.
That's
baby.
what you should be doing,
Dr.
man.
Kelly's fantastic.
Yes, be Dr. Kelly, be Bruce Pearl. If you're not celebrating a moment like that,
You got issues.
no, I think you have agendas.
Well,
I think that's what that says.
did you hear who threw his name in the mix to be the next head coach at Oregon State?
Ooh, this is a fun.
What did I tease?
I don't know what you teased. I already forgot.
You already forgot the tease. So I remember the tease.
GP.
Gary Payton reportedly has thrown his name in the
Well,
mix
he-
at Oregon State.
Coaches, I think, the Big Three team.
He what? Say that again? Is that an
He's a
English
coach.
sentence?
Yeah, Ice
yeah.
Cube's
Okay.
big three.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. He coaches a big 3 team. I'm like, what? What? Oh,
That league?
got it.
Remember that league?
Sure, that league.
Coming to Portland, you know.
Hey, we got a team
Half
there.
court, 3-on-3.
Yeah,
It's going to catch on, we promise.
Go to prison.
You want to see old guys tear their Achilles?
How will we feel about a legend coming back to coach the program?
No, thanks.
Ooh, we're out on GP. What if he brings the mitten with him? Does the mitten have any eligibility left?
No, I think he exercised as much as you
We
can get out
got
of
G
it.
League guys coming back now. There's some like 27-year-old for USC that just left the team the other day. He's not
By the
playing
way,
anymore.
that was on my show notes.
Was it?
That
Yeah.
was
He
weird.
left with an injury.
He
came
sat in the
back out of the
stands.
tunnel,
And then he's
sat
sitting
in the stands. And then they announced that he's not on the team, and they didn't tell why.
No.
He's
No.
their leading scorer.
He's averaging like 19 a game. I mean, he's almost 30. Time to go get a job, insurance salesman. But what are we doing here?
Yeah, I'm sure Eric Musselman's a calm, reasonable type that'll.
Yeah, handle
I'm
that
sure
well.
he's a joy to
I mean,
play
the
for.
idea of this is really cool.
I'm
I
out.
think your questions are fair and the concerns are fair. The idea of it's fun. Out.
Yeah.
I'm out.
Okay.
No, I see where that's going.
You don't like the direction? Okay. Swag?
I don't know enough about. I mean, is GP just throwing his name out there to throw his name out there and be in the, will it be a Drexler at Houston situation?
Has GP coached in college?
I don't know I don't think so. I don't know the answer.
Okay.
I don't think so.
I'm out.
Try.
It works
There's
for Steve
so
Kerr, man.
much.
That's not the same thing.
It could be. You never know.
Okay.
Do you have a Steph Curry?
Gary Payton coaching the NBA? Actually, more acceptable.
We hired
than
a guy to
college.
coach the NBA Portland Trailblazers after one season as an assistant coach.
That's what I'm saying. NBA, more acceptable. College, never done it? Nah, I'm out. It's a fun thing to say. The press conference would be stellar.
He was the head coach of the Three-Headed Monsters.
Yes. That's it.
Yeah.
No, hold on.
Oh, you got another league?
Got more?
There was another team.
A Canadian league?
No, the Boston Ball Hogs. He's now the head coach of the Boston Ball Hogs.
They have a team called the
He
Boston
is
Ball Hogs.
a two-time Big Three
great.
coach. Two different franchises.
For the Big Three league.
For the Big Three league.
Yeah, no.
The Three-Headed
I'm
Monster
out. I'm out.
and the Boston Ball Hogs.
Go find, can we get a coach that's coached?
All right.
Who's the lead assistant for Gonzaga? Go bring him over to whoop Mark
Who's their
Hughes'
next
ass.
Tommy Lloyd? We need our
Yeah.
next Tommy Lloyd.
Bring
Go
him
get the
over
next
to
disciple.
Corvallis. Who's the young,
Up-and-comer?
sexiest coach in Gonzaga's program?
But
Steal him.
Brandon Sprague, if that guy wins, what's he going to do?
What?
He's
Win?
going to likely leave your program.
Who cares? We're
you
not
know who's
operating
staying
that world.
loyal to the soil?
Who?
Gary Payton.
Oh, he is?
Yes.
He is.
He's been loyal to the Boston Ball Hogs for a year.
Gary Payton had not been affiliated with Oregon State basketball until Craig Robinson
Well, it's
got him
because the name
back.
on the back of the jersey doesn't matter. It's about the name on the front of the jersey.
Right, but from
If the name on the back of the jersey mattered, you might have had Gary Payton around the program a little bit more.
But from the start of his NBA career until about 2011, he wasn't there.
It was funny.
I remember somebody telling me specifically on a text, Gary's coming to our home game. And I said, I'm going to put this out. Is that cool? They said, F yeah. He hasn't been to a home game in God can remember.
He's busy. He had things going on.
But I'm just saying, that was his connection to OSU at that point.
He's out there sewing mittens, man.
All right.
I did see this being a very divisive thing because some Oregon State fans are like, we're so bad, this would be at least fun. And other fans
Would it
are
be
like,
fun?
I
It can
don't
get
know.
worse.
It could.
Wayne's
it
at
could.
least the top 4 team in the WCC.
Well, yeah.
And in the Pac-12 next year.
He did go 1-19 in the last year of the Pac-12.
No. I get
I know,
that.
I know.
I'm just saying,
Now he's beating the Pilots.
Actually, he lost to the Pilots
Actually, he
this year.
did lose.
They split.
They split. Your team sucks, but they're good. It's so weird.
A little bit of great assault here. A little bit of great assault.
All right.
But
Okay,
No,
so
I'm out
you're in
on
the
this.
situation.
I'm out on
Let's
this.
bring back Fred Jones when Runday
Dude,
Altman out.
Freddie Jones could throw him down back in the day.
What's the Luke Jackson?
Yeah,
Aaron Brooks.
Luke
What's
Jackson
Aaron
was
Brooks
doing good at the. Didn't he coach at the Christian College in
The
Eugene for a while?
Northwest
Yeah.
guys
color
basketball
commentator
team.
with
What's
Joey
Luke
Mack
Ridenour
there.
up to now?
He's
these
right
days?
there involved
commentator.
in the program.
No, Ridenour. What's Ridenour doing?
Probably dominating a YMCA somewhere.
He's just killing. Let's bring his ass back. Let's get Marty Lunen's got to be hanging around somewhere. Joe Von Catron has to have eligibility left. He could be a player coach. Do them both. His 7 years of college have not run out yet.
Dude, let's get Luke Ridenour on and go, what are you doing in your life?
What are you doing, Luke?
I just want to hear what he's doing. He's like, I'm dominating a YMCA in Eastern Washington
Playing a lot
right
of
now.
pickup ball in Yakima lately.
Hell yeah, dude. Coaching the Yakima CC team, dominating a YMCA.
Can you see him having one of those 3-on-3 teams that's trying to qualify for the Olympics?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
He'd be really good in 3-on-3.
Really
Well,
good.
Would have been, probably.
Yeah, not anymore. That's
How
more
old
of a
is he?
Jimmer Fredette game now.
He's probably 42.
Oh,
Yeah, they're late 30s,
He's
early
a couple
40s.
years older than me. I'm going to be 40 this year.
yeah. He's 45. That escalated quickly.
Dude, he's 45 out of 24, making a 20-year-old question his entire existence.
How did that happen to me?
That's what Luke
He just
Renau's
crossed
doing.
me up. This old scrawny white guy is lighting me up.
He said he played in the league. I had to Google him. He was right.
Well, according to Brandon Sprague, the glove does not fit. He doesn't want anything to do with Gary Payton. But he reportedly, according to the folks at the Belligerent Beeves podcast, has thrown his name into the mix to be the next head coach or be involved with the program.
Belligerent Beeves just all over.
They're all over
man.
breaking news right now,
Look
man.
at
They're
them.
doing a great
I hope
job.
they get the scoop that Barnes has been fired.
God, we can all hope that'll happen, right? Let's wrap it up on a Monday. We'll do it next on The Fan.
1080 AM.
All right, welcome back in. One last segment to go for us today. The firm of Harrison Meringue coming up top of the hour. We're going to do anything to enjoy that 60-degree weather today? Got any outdoor activities planned?
I do not.
Nothing going on outside, huh?
No, I do not have any.
Going to go sunbathe in the backyard? Lay out there nude?
No.
Get some vitamin D on your cheeks?
I have a weird yard where there's a deck off of our sliding door in the back, but it's a raised deck. So when I stand on the deck, I'm above every single one of my backyard neighbors, and I have 4 of them.
You're risen kind of above. That's not a good spot.
I also...
You'd rather be the sunken...
You're like a prairie dog that's risen up out of his hole to survey and see what's going on.
Like when what is the flats? The Blackstone was out there. I used to be back there cooking. Everybody could see me.
Hey, what are you making over there, Sprague?
Basically, it'd be that situation. But I'm already pretty convinced my backyard neighbors have seen me naked.
Yeah, it's going to happen from time to time.
Well, my wife, we have a big window in our bedroom, and it's facing where the deck is. My wife loves to leave either the blinds pulled all the way up or open. And I one day forgot this, took an afternoon shower.
Walked out of there.
Nudie-tootie. And I'm like, oh, no.
Oh, my bad.
Oh, no.
Sorry about that, Sally.
My bad. I didn't see anybody, but, like, if you were in the house and saw it, I could have got away with seeing it, you know?
It was a cold shower.
Yeah.
Not how it usually looks.
It is what it is. It's more what I would say. I wouldn't defend myself. It is what it is. I didn't make me.
All right, what about you, Swag? You doing anything in the sunshine today? You locking yourself in and watching some European tennis?
No, today we'll be running around doing errands, getting all the stuff I need to get together before I head to Vegas on Wednesday.
Yeah, Swag's going to Vegas this week. Vegas, baby. Vegas. Conference tournaments begin.
The March of Swag.
This is the summer of Swag and the March of Swag. That's what we got.
I can't wait for us to be at a casino for one show and he complain about how he can't be out there.
You just spent a week in Las Vegas,
We're gone for a whole week.
I'll be out there by 10:15.
I will come out.
We know you'll be
there.
Here
You'll be there.
faithfully after the
over/under 10:29 is the when we're out there Friday.
I don't
morning
think
for
I
the
can
show.
navigate that fast.
That's pretty quick.
I'll
That's
say
a
the
quick
over-under will be
turnaround.
10:38.
I don't have a lead foot. I will be there before 11, yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
10:38, 40 is going to be it, and then he will be the guy that ordered the bucket, and then Cooley comes over and he goes, "This is comped, right?"
Who ordered the bucket? I got the bucket.
He's going to beg to get all the food comped that he possibly can.
Well, I'm going to get outdoors as much as humanly possible today because when you get a 60-degree day on the second day of March.
Is it really supposed to be 60 today?
Yeah,
61 and sunny.
I think I saw.
61 and sunny?
Dude, I was
I
walking
might have
on
to go for a shirtless run.
And it's supposed to start raining
tomorrow.
at the end
Like
of the
starting
week.
tomorrow,
Yeah.
this
be
is
crap.
it. You got
This
one
is
day
it.
here.
Go. Hit a bucket of balls, do something.
Thank you. I was walking around yesterday with the kiddo. We were outside literally all day yesterday. By the time the afternoon hit, I'm legitimately hot. I was wearing
It was really nice.
joggers and a
Yeah.
quarter zip. The quarter zip off. People were looking at me like I was crazy at the park, and I'm like, "Are you any of you real Oregonians? It's 59 degrees and sunny. What's the matter?" There's a lady there with like a full-on down jacket. Like it's 59 degrees. I ain't 38 out here. What's the matter with you?
College basketball is the best sporting event going on today.
Iowa State, Arizona tonight, 6 o'clock on ESPN. Arizona's
Portland
a 7.5
State
point favorite.
hosts Weber State at 7. They need a win to
They
clinch
win
the
that,
number
they're the
1
one
seed.
All right.
Yeah.
It's about all I got on my docket
Kraken
today.
are hosting the Hurricanes.
There you go.
Come on.
You can watch that
Nobody
tonight?
cares.
You can watch that one tonight?
By the way, talk about dropping of the ball. We didn't mention this.
Yeah.
He said if Canada lost, he'd wear the Canadian sweatshirt I bought him for Christmas.
Oh,
And
yeah.
all he's worn
We haven't
is
worn that one.
Swagalicious or Pilot's gear.
It's just Kraken gear every day. That's all we got.
I bought you the sweatshirt.
Where's the Canadian sweatshirt?
Just say you hate it.
No.
no.
It was the perfect time to wear it. Was after we.
Goes, no. That'll do it for us, folks. Go enjoy some sunshine, damn it. Thanks for being a part of our Monday. If you missed any of the show, go check the podcast, 1051thefan.com. After it's Sprague on Twitter, at 1051thefan on Twitter. We will talk to you tomorrow at 6 a.m. Like the video on YouTube, by the way. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so yet. Thanks, everybody, being along for the ride today. We'll talk to you at 6 a.m. tomorrow. The firm Harrison Meringue is next. Listen to 1051 FM The Fan.
As well as...
That attitude to help you beat the Bulls in one score.